There's a special place in hell for what was it? Child molesters and people who talk in the theater.
Yep.
And there's also a special place in hell for virgin nerd Silicon Valley programmers who have to constantly update shit that already works perfectly fine.
See, I was ahead of the curve on this, wasn't I? Complaining about having podcasts where you complain about technology the whole time.
Yeah. I mean, how's your bipolar Windows 10 operating system? Is she acting up too?
It updated, after I disabled it,
Sure.
updated, right? And so I let it update because, you got to let the woman do what she wants to do.
Yep. Get it out of the system, right?
Yep. And then I disabled it again and disabled volume shadow copy, and we're all good to go. So, and then they'll get re-enabled on their own,
Yeah, and then the process will start all over again. Do you remember Windows XP? Wasn't that a fun? Those are simpler times. You know what those were, DT?
Those are good times.
Those are good times.
Hey, that recent virus or flaw in the system, they actually patched Windows XP here recently. Did you see that news when that came out?
Patched? I thought they stopped supporting.
Exactly,
XP.
They stopped supporting it, but this was such a flaw that could spread across the globe that they did a security patch for Windows XP and Windows 7.
You would be amazed how many people still use XP. I got a buddy. What does he do? He finds companies getting rid of their XP machines. Some used as some back end, some piece of crap. It runs some low technology level thing, has some kind of point. And so then they inevitably, we don't have that. We don't need this anymore. And I think there's some CNC milling company or something to do with industry where their program will only run on XP. And so they will pay a pretty penny for any basic computer that has an XP operating system on it.
Yep.
Because it works. Imagine that. People just want something that fucking works.
Yeah, the article talking about this virus said right in the article, everything that we've talked about, right? It said, well, some businesses do not automatically update their Windows operating system because it'll cause greater problems. And it's just like, yeah, exactly. Windows is malware.
I didn't want to talk about this. I was in a great mood.
Yeah. We can move on. Do I sound okay?
You sound fine. Why
I got the two microphone thing going.
What does that do?
Well, have you heard of this thing called ASMR or ASMR?
No.
Have you heard of it?
Like Gossamer, the cartoon character in Bugs Bunny that no one knows about?
No, it's what does ASMR stand for? It's a tingly feeling that goes up your spine with certain audio stimulation. And there's all these, you probably make a lot of money. Cappy could do ASMR. There's YouTube stations where usually hot chicks, of course, will be there with the two microphones about ear width apart, and they'll be doing things like
what?
Can you hear all that stuff? Yeah. They'll go like this, like I'm having tea. They'll go like this, and they'll just do that. They'll stare at the video or at the camera, and you make sounds. Like here's a paper towel. Yeah.
And they make money.
And they make money. It's called ASMR.
You know what? You know what the world's going to be in the future? The only people who are going to make any money are going to be women flashing their tits on the internet doing ASMR stuff, making noises. And then I will grant the right for every red-blooded American male to just go live off the fucking dole.
Here, I'm gonna do
if it comes to that, I'm saying if it comes to the point that our GDP is teachers and social workers and government workers, there's nothing ever being fucking produced anymore, and the only private sector work women do is ASMR stuff, making noises and flashing the tits on the internet and playing video games, then I'm granting men every fucking right to go live off of welfare because there's no fucking point anymore. That's
here. I'm going to do one. Here, I'm
okay. Yeah, do one. Yeah. I'm excited, man. Yeah.
I'm going to do one for Atham. Okay. You got to guess what this is.
The coffee's good.
What am I doing for Atham?
Reporting them to ICE.
No, I'm hitting buttons on a calculator. Is it giving you asthma, Atham? Yeah.
Wait. So is the technological term asthma, or is this the effect people are supposed to have?
Well, it's called ASMR, and here I'm just going to look it up real quick after I get on
I'm
YouTube.
going to look it up too. Mom, I got this thing here. AMSR.
ASMR.
God. Oh, ASMR. ASMR. Did you mean AS? Autonomous sensory meridian response is an experience characterized by a static-like or tingling sensation on the skin that typically begins on the scalp and moves down the back and the neck and the upper. But this is so precise.
Yes.
And it has been compared with auditory tactile synesthesia. It may overlap with frisson. Honest to God, I've never heard of any of these words. And you know what's sad is you look at the videos, it's just cute girls popping bubbles, sleeping. Here's a gal eating spicy ramen noodles.
You know, like I'm sure you've experienced though, like when a chick whispers in your ear or whatever.
Oh yeah, kind of
where
like,
you get that tingly feeling up your spine. That's asthma.
Well, I think it's more like,
people are now basically kind of, instead of whacking off, they're now wanting that sensation.
This is their new addiction, is asthma.
Yes. Yep, asthma. There's that during the Super Bowl, there was the commercial with Lenny Kravitz's daughter. I don't know what her name is, Zoe Kravitz, I think.
I don't.
And she was doing asthma for a Super Bowl commercial where she's opening up a bottle of beer, and you hear the, and then she pours it into the glass, and you hear the glug 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 glug.
Yeah.
And then she goes, whatever, Budweiser, and she whispers into the, and you're supposed to be going, oh, the asthma. Oh.
So I'm on YouTube, and all it is hot chicks. All the videos. That's all. If I type in asthma, it's all hot chicks.
Yep.
I got, you know what? I, for one, welcome our new Muslim overlords. Because they're not going to tolerate this shit. We don't deserve. I'm not necessarily throwing in with them either, but I'm just like, if I got the choice between a rather conservative traditional religion where, okay, we got to worship this guy in the sky and we got to bow down this way 5 times. But then they get their engineering on, and as long as we're not, raping donkeys and stoning people, more of the moderate version. I'm sorry, society doesn't deserve to go on. How many 100,000 views, 100,000 views, 119,500. You know what? Fuck society. Thanks, DT. I was in a great fucking mood before. Now you just ruined.
But this could be a part of Operation Evil. I mean, you could do, drinking coffee, or I'll do the drinking coffee. Then
but we don't have tits, DT. We're not 20-something chick. Look, and it's like the nerdy chick. Like, oh, look, I got the glasses on. They all have glasses. The girl next door. Here's a gal with black lipstick.
Well, maybe you'd get gay people to watch you.
Dude, dude, okay. The Black Man's Guide Out of Poverty targeted a very small segment. Now, admittedly, it was niche. It was 6% of the U.S. population, black males. Okay. And I knew that wasn't going to be necessarily a big seller, but it sold enough. You want me to target a group of people that's 1% of the population, because we could take gay or a non-binary, but it's half that. Gay, not lesbians. Lesbians going to hate my lesbians ain't going to tune into me. So we're talking 1%. Are you kidding me?
No, I'm talking about, it's the easiest thing to do. Basically, you'd wake up, and when you brush your teeth, you just brush it in front of some microphones, and that would be an asthma, session. And then you go make yourself a sandwich. Make sure there's lettuce on it, and then so there's the crunchy lettuce, and then you record yourself eating your lunch. And maybe you'll get some views. Maybe Cappy asthma will make some money. Yeah.
There's a guy with fingernails. He grew his fingernails on. He painted them red, and he's clicking in the microphone.
Yep.
Here's a gal eating noodles. Here's Rapunzel asthma. They even put it in the goddamn title. Hang on, Rapunzel asthma. Oh fuck. Can you hear this?
You could start asthma consulting.
Oh God, I want to punch these people. I want to punch these people. Look at this girl. I mean, God bless her. Good for her. She's got almost 500,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
What is wrong with you, man? It's all women. So it's all sexual. Yes. It's related to like if it was just pure asthma, like, oh, I like to hear raindrops falling on a tin roof. All right, who doesn't like that? Okay. But this is like a foot fetish. I'm officially decreeing this on the level of foot fetish. You guys who listen to this are fucked in the goddamn head. You goddamn beta pussies. This is what you'll look at this 5.7 million views.
Yes.
Here's one with fifth. Here, twin.
What they probably do. Go ahead.
They're dressed up as surgeons.
Yeah. Yep. Well, there's some views. Yeah, some people get well, that's the asthma is also like personal attention. Sometimes you get that tingly sensation from personal attention. And so a lot of the asthma channels are like that.
So men are just so lacking in female attention, they'll get it digitally.
Yeah. But I mean, it can, I mean, I've had it, I mean, not to get too personal or whatever, but you know, when you're in the eye doctor office.
Okay. Yeah. And they're doing
and they're doing they like get really close to your eye, and they're really close, and they're looking in your eye, and it's quiet and blah blah blah. It's not sexual or anything, but sometimes I got that asthma reaction to that.
It is relaxing, like like when you go get a haircut. I won't lie, you know, they're cutting your hair, and it's just physical attention. But this is creepy, and I do mean that in the real sense of the word, not the new sense of the word, where I disagree with you. You're creepy.
Right.
There's something fucking wrong. I mean, my God, guys, 40,000, and this just came out 20 hours ago. What in fuck's it is an argument for Operation Evil.
Exactly.
It is an operation for. I mean, I guess. You know what, ladies? I'm terribly sorry. I take it back. None of you go into STEM. That takes 4 years and is hard. DT will attest to that.
Yes.
Just go into asthma. Just stay thin. Wear some fucking glasses. You go.
You don't need to do anything. You don't
need to show your tits. These gals are all appropriately dressed. There's nothing, you know, they're just cute faces.
Yeah, you can just, you know, clink a glass. Just.
Yeah. Fucking. Thanks, DT.
Did you asthma? Did I get you to asthma?
God almighty. The day is sunny. I was looking forward to happy things and happy thoughts. And
well, that's
not even 9:45 yet, and you've already pissed me off.
Well, it's just, you know, you can't make this shit up, you know?
No.
And it just shows that as we get more and more into the kind of this virtual reality, all this kind of stuff is going to replace genuine human interaction and contact. And we're all just going to be plugged into our VR goggles or whatever, asthmaing and coming at the same time. Oh, I came and I asthmaed at the same time. It was amazing. You know,
this is my girlfriend. 3 movies that are rapidly proving to be truly and scarily insightful. Surrogate, which is what you're talking about with Bruce Willis. You ever see it?
I think I saw the end of it.
Okay. So Surrogate, Demolition Man.
Yes, Demolition Man.
That is wickedly becoming in, and then Idiocracy.
Yep.
Those 3 movies, whether intended or not, with clairvoyance on the part of the writers or directors or not, are rapidly becoming documentaries.
Absolutely. Here, I'm gonna scratch my beard for you.
Asshole. God damn.
Okay, so, enough of that. Is that done?
Are we done with that? Get it out of your system. No, let's just have good old fun with Clarey. Yeah, it's funny. Poking the badger with the spoon. That's real funny. Get it agitated.
Okay.
I had my coffee. Right. I was looking forward. I had great. I was even going to be positive.
Okay, here we go. Test. He'll be the test. Charles Mack just gave Super Chat 536.
Thank you, Charlie.
Super Chads yesterday. DT Blood Shekels today. Am I sending more of these tomorrow too? Hope you gentlemen are having a good morning. Yeah, we're having an okay morning. But how about we open up the Super Chats for Super Asthmers? And we'll just see if you can make money off of me just like making shit up here.
When you moved to South Dakota, I'm not joking. I mean, because I do want to talk about you. It was your last day yesterday at work. So, but that's like a 6-month cycle for you. Like, yeah, work. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I will. No, I won't. You could probably make money on asthmers.
Absolutely.
It'd be easier if you're a cute girl with a nice set of tits, but you just might be able to, you know, the asthma channel. And you don't show your face. You just make noise. So people think you're a girl. You know what you could do?
Right.
You could just get a picture of a hot chick, buy from her on Instagram, and then you just do, you know, asthma by Bipsy.
Yep.
And then okay, here's your $100 Bipsy. Thanks for the use of your image. And then you just go off and make noise.
Yeah, it's not visual, I don't think. Maybe
It's
visual
visual.
does.
Otherwise, they wouldn't have all these hot chicks on YouTube.
Right. Right.
Which,
Visual contributes to it, but it's the audio that I think sets it off. So
but it also tells me that it's sexual because it's all cute girls. There wasn't any
right.
fat, ugly girls on the Asmer channels, and it's
Yes.
all you sad, pathetic men. I can't even call you men. Who? It's the conservathought thing. It's just these girls aren't doing anything. They're not.
Right.
They're just taking some that already exists, like libertarian free market philosophy plus tits. That's it. Now we're taking noises plus tits.
Exactly.
Again,
And
Operation Evil. You're 100% correct.
yeah, you wonder if like porn is losing its, luster, and it's just this is moving to some new weird area that's actually not as, I don't know, it's not as you don't, I guess, if you're religious or whatever, there's no like guilt associated with just listening to somebody whisper at you.
But
you know
again, I think this is on par with a foot fetish. If a guy's like, "Oh,
yeah.
I'm really into asthma," I'd be like, "Yeah, I'm not into toe fungus, Mr.
you,
Quentin Tarantino. Get the hell away from me."
you just get bored with like the normal stuff. I'm bored with beautiful eyes and big tits. Yeah, asthma's my thing now.
Fuck. What's the super chats look like? Are we behind already? Because sometimes we get behind.
No,
Good.
it's not. I'm not Chad, so the
Yeah.
super Chads are not here, and I haven't guilted anybody yet, so the blood shekels aren't.
Yeah, you
rolling in.
haven't berated anyone. I mean, and maybe Chad has natural asthma. That's why everyone throws the
Right.
shekels at him.
Exactly. The dulcet tones.
The dulcet tones of Chad the CPA.
We did get just one. This is sort of a Black Brigade super chat from WF Jacoby for $2. Shooting hot asthma. People listen to my previous podcast will get that joke.
Yeah. Hey, I want to be happy because it's still worth sharing. We got to be positive. I got to be positive because good things are happening. You had your last.
You want to talk about me my last day?
Well, I want to talk about just the little experience I had this morning before you ruined it.
Okay, little experience. Let's go.
So I'm in the new Northern Command, and you could kind of tell with the window here, the patio outside, going on the deck, and I'm not in a basement, and there's sun. And what I have found I really enjoy is just going out on my deck with a rocking chair and having coffee in the morning. And it's a different view because the old Northern Command, I had a view, but I've seen it for 13 years. This one's different. It's real nice. I can look off into Wisconsin. I just sit there and rock and have my chair. And everybody leaves work, so it's quiet.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. And I'm kind of like the only one left at the apartment complex. And I just sit there like the old man with my coffee. And I really started to appreciate the science, which, hang on, I had it up before. Got to look it up now before I had to reboot because window nerds. Oh, what was it? Study, silence, 2 hours, mice. Here it is, life hack. This is about a year old. Science says silence is much more important to our brains than we think. In 2011, the Finnish Tourist Board ran a campaign that used silence as a marketing product. They sought to entice people to visit Finland and experience the beauty of this silent land. They released a series of photographs of single figures and then nature. Maybe onto something very big. You could be seeing the very beginnings of using silence as a selling point, as silence may be becoming more and more attractive. You know what silence is becoming?
It's becoming a commodity.
It's becoming increasingly rare.
Yeah.
Because everywhere you go, I've talked about this before, you are assaulted with noise. You go into the bar, they got to turn these. I was talking to Adam Piggott this past weekend, and he used to run a bar, and he was talking about every possible variable and conceivable a variable that goes into running a good bar, and the height of the bar and the height of the chairs. And not only that the music can't be too loud, but it varies over the course of time. It gets a little bit louder, but never do you make it louder than what people can talk at. And that's the number one reason why you'll have nightclubs go in and out of business. And also it's all to make women comfortable. They even had it down to a science where you put the speakers so it targets the woman's stomach and makes her feel warm. and fuzzy inside. That's the granular level of detail. But now it's almost like being quasi-raped in the ear when you go into a bar and there's the sports ball and it's all noise. I mean, golf is about the only thing I can tolerably watch. Even volleyball, they have it turned up. Women's softball, I guess it's the season for that. They have that turned up. I've mentioned before, when you go to the gas station, what happens now?
Oh, yeah, right. There's commercials just blaring at you,
just blasting at you.
Yeah.
And they gotta get in every pore and crevasse of your body and your mind. And it really, and now, just because it's a new place, you know, I'm still gonna be going to South Dakota, but I'm looking so forward to having my patio and my rocking chair. I understand old men now. I figured it out. You know, we all make fun. Oh, you're in your old rocking chair there, old man, dripping your mint julep. It's like, yeah, he's in his rocking chair. The man probably went through war, maybe 2 of them, probably seen a child or 2 die. This is going back in the olden days. And just pure contentment and silence.
Yep. Maybe the creak, creak, creak of the rocking chair.
Is that like a poem or a saying?
No, I'm just saying that just maybe the only sound would be the creak, creak, creak of the rocking chair back and forth.
Yeah, and I like there were birds.
Comforting.
Yeah, and I'm it's almost a morning ritual now, and you'd be shocked. Old Cappy is trying to make some changes where I'm either going to stroke out if I keep going the pace I am at, or I need to sit and chill the fuck out. In this article here, I don't have to go through it, but they did this thing on mice where they gave them 2 hours of silence in their hippocampus. It says the hippocampus is a region of the brain associated with memory, emotion, and learning. The growth of new cells in the brain does not necessarily translate into tangible health benefits, but it was a good sign about the importance of silence. And when I get to South Dakota, that's what I'm going to do. And that's what we're going to do. We're just going to sit on those rocking chairs, man, on my patio. Yep. And I cannot wait. I am so excited because I talked to the draftsman, and he's almost done drafting up the blueprints, or at least the key aspects of them, putting some hard numbers on it. But by the time you move out, I might be 4 to 5 months behind you in terms of having the house built.
Right.
So I'm just, it's almost like this land of Canaan, you know, this promised land where and what we're going to want the most is it going to be motorcycling or hiking, or it's going to be silence.
Yeah, silence. Sitting on DT's deck. DT's deck's going to be a good little spot too.
Dude, you guys got a nice house, man. I was surprised. Like when Mrs. DT sent me the photos, I'm like, holy shit, you're going to have a nice hunker bunker when you get out there.
Oh yeah. That's what staying in your starter home, paying it off, staying in it for 20 years. That's what it gets you. It gets you a launching pad.
Yep.
And it gets you options. So
it's just like using the Earth or the Sun or Jupiter. Didn't they use Jupiter to accelerate the speed of the Voyager craft?
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure it's a part of all their calculations for going different places. Is Jupiter?
Yeah, it almost has to be. You know, but man, that's good. Have you been to your own place yet, or no?
No.
Oh,
we're closing. We're gonna buy. It's a little difficult for me, just kind of sight unseen, to just go all in on this, but it's a good. It'll be good for me. It'll be good for my mind and my soul and all that to just take the leap. And,
hey, you know what?
Trust that Mrs. DT went out there. It's good. Trust that the home inspector, it's all good there. Trust the realtor when she does the final walkthrough on the closing, and just, and if there's any problems, then you just deal with them.
Yep. No, that's going to be a life. You could get Alzheimer's and you're never going to forget the time you first walk into that house, man.
I'm sure.
You will never forget it, because it is such a cool looking house. And you got a fireplace. So now we could continue to have our fireplace wars, but I'm going to have 2 fireplaces. Well, you got 2 fireplaces, but then I got my wood burning stove that's going to go into the garage.
Okay.
So the wars will reignite. And then when Perodin gets out there, he's going to have to up his fireplace game.
Right.
Wood stacking game.
Yeah, and we won't have to fire them up as often either, I don't think, in the winter time.
I debatably may not even fire mine up because when winter comes by, I'm shutting off the water mains and going to Vegas. I'll let you you take care of the Northern Command. I'll let you guys handle that.
Well, what if you really like it up there in the winter? You wouldn't stay?
I have rarely. I've only been through South Dakota once during winter, and it was an interesting experience. It's very pretty because of all the snow. It's nowhere near as brutal as Minnesota. It's obviously more like Denver, where the snow will melt occasionally. Terry's Peak, they either make their snow or they get enough snow. It's high enough up that the snow stays for the skiing. I'm not a big skier or snowboarder.
Right.
But what was the funniest thing was I went through, I was coming back from Wyoming to Minneapolis, and I went through Sturgis. I'm like, I'm kind of curious what Sturgis is like during winter. It is eerie. They literally shut down not only the main street where all the bars and all that is in Sturgis. I think they turn off the electricity too. So there's the lights are off.
Seriously?
You would like it because you're into that horror film crap.
Yeah,
you would get a kick out of it. You'd have asthma. You'd be like, oh my god, I get the tinglies.
The town that time forgot.
The ghosts of Harley riders, of whatever, but you kind of go through. And then, have you been to Sturgis or no?
No.
There's two main drags running east-west. The one to the south is where all the partying and the bars and trinket stores and souvenir stores are, and so those kind of tend to close. And that stretch is shut down. But then the main road going into it, there's two exits. One's on the east side, one's on the west side. The east side is the main exit. And so you got a couple actual things the citizens of Sturgis would use. And then the road running east-west north of that main drag is like the main, that's the real main street that the people and the citizens of Sturgis use. So there's like the gas station, there's the shopping mart, the tire store, things like that. So it's kind of the citizens use that road, but then when the motorcyclists come in and they use the other road, but then that other road is shut down and you go through in January, you're like, get me the fuck out of here.
What was that? What was that song?
That was the spooky ghost of baby boomer motorcyclists who didn't really know how to ride them and crashed and died with 70 miles on the brand new Harley. Oh, I'm the banker baby boomer who died his first time in Sturgis. Ooh, I didn't know how to drive, but it was on my bucket list. Little I know it would end the bucket list. Oh.
There is a tourist industry for like abandoned towns. And like you said, it's eerie. It gives you, maybe it's an asthma feeling. I don't know, but it gives you a feeling like, whoa, this is eerie. This is kind of creepy, but kind of cool at the same time. There's like a metaphor here for how fleeting life is, or how fragile civilization is, where you go into these, people will go visit these kind of abandoned towns, abandoned factories or whatever. And
factories I could see, but what towns make it eerie? Because when I've gone to ghost towns, it's actually kind of cool. I never got the spookiness.
Yeah, it's cool, but it's kind of cool because it is spooky, or a little spooky. Right.
But no, that's what I'm saying. My experience has not been that. When I've gone to like ghost towns, it's kind of cool.
But those are like Western. I'm talking like more even modern. Like there's one, what is it, near Salt Lake, where there was a lake and it disappeared, and there used to be a resort there.
Oh yeah, there's a place like that in Las Vegas over on Lake Mead. Yeah. That is.
I've never been to these places, but people will go visit them because it's just kind of neat to explore these abandoned places.
Yeah, the Western towns are a little cooler. There's Rhyolite. I rode my motorcycle out there. That's outside of Vegas. And it's just kind of neat. I think if anything, because the desert keeps it in pretty good condition.
Yeah, right. Yep.
There's not a lot of mold. Like, okay, let's think about this.
It's our version. It's our version of Giza. It's our version of the pyramids, right? That they kind of just last.
Long ago in 1910. 109 years ago. No one was alive. No, the dinosaurs were back there. Tell me what's more eerie and spooky, okay? Abandoned Western desert ghost town or abandoned mansion in Savannah, Georgia. What's creepier?
It's got to be the mansion.
Yeah, that's because it's all moldy and creepy and spooky. Yeah.
And you got the moss hanging, and
the
basement might be flooded.
Yeah,
Or
the
even the first floor
Munsters.
could be floor could be flooded. Yeah.
The Addams family, the Munsters, they lived in that kind of house. Cowboy Jones, he just happened to come in and kick the door in like Daffy Duck on that Western cartoon. And I'm like, all right, who's the 6 guns at dawn? Anybody up for tennis?
Right. That's one of my favorites. That one, there was one night I watched the one where it's rabbit season, duck season.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Well, there's several of those, isn't there?
Well, there's one in particular, and it's the Is Anybody Up for Tennis one. And then Daffy gets his nose blasted off. It's so great. Those old cartoons. Kids are really missing out on that.
They are.
The new cartoons are pretty humorous. I mean, they're really well done, but they're almost too quick. Like the humor is almost too quick in new cartoons, where the older ones it built more. So
no. Well, you watch more cartoons with Bert and Ernie. I have no idea what the cartoons are like today. I know in the 90s and the aughts, like Arthur and Adventure Time, that was ass.
Right, exactly.
That was just pure ass, and the kids didn't know any better. Now you got these guys that are, oh, dude, Arthur and Adventure Time were great. Like, no, it was a bunch of mentally ill people on drugs with no talent making you think it was funny, and it was horrible. It was absolute, and I'll grant you, like now, but these are adult cartoons, like Archer or Rick and Morty. Those are a bit, but they're targeted towards adult. But the kids' cartoons, there was how they have like the golden era and the silver era of comics.
Yes,
this was like the fecal era of kid cartoons. And anyone listening who like drew the cartoons and you thought was anything that you guys suck. You won't be memorable.
Arthur's still around. Arthur, I mean, speaking of ass, it actually had a gay wedding on Arthur here.
Yeah,
recently.
Of course it did. Okay, yeah, exactly. Can you just draw something funny and witty and just make it happy? No, we have to have a gay wedding because why? You're talentless fucks, and now you're going to go to that pool, that pool of poison, the pool of I got nothing left. Let's do this. Oh,
yeah, that was quite the controversy here recently.
Yeah, hang on, I gotta go pee because I had my coffee. When I get back, let's talk about your last day.
All right, I'll do some asthma.
No, I want to have a channel when I get back.
Okay, all right. All right, so Cappy is currently urinating at the Northern Command. I don't think we can hear anything. But we will be back shortly to talk about, I don't know what. We might talk about DT's last day at work. Might talk about how DT describes government workers. That I think will put everything into perspective, make everything make sense. And that now I'm getting some more comments here. They're like, "Hey, it's just me." So, what's up, DT? What's up? Oh, it's Alex. Yeah. So yeah, and just to let you all know that I think once I'm out into South Dakota, I think I might enter the fray again. We can maybe talk about that too with Cap, see what he thinks about it. But it's time to bring back the coffee's good to the interwebs. So we'll see what happens.
Did you find something?
Did
you find something?
Find what?
Oh, you're just talking. I'm like,
I was just talking. I didn't do any asthma. I respected your no asthma dictate.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you this. If you want to just, God, it's a daily chore to enjoy the decline, even for the author himself, who should fucking know better. But yeah, if you want to be depressed, just type in asthma on YouTube and just, I don't want to hear women ever complain that you can't make money. You just don't want to make money in the things that you don't like. How easy is this?
Right.
There's a girl brushing her hair. Okay. All right. Here's one. Here, take Jinx Asthma.
Jinx? That's the channel?
Yeah. Look up JINX Asthma.
Oh, you want me to?
Yeah. Go ahead. Look at this. Hello, everybody. Oh, God. Don't even tell me this. Everybody look up JINX Asthma on YouTube. And you tell me why you think she's... Look at this. Look at this.
Does she make the ass, you know, when she's actually squeezing into that push-up bra, does she have those sounds?
Dude, take a look at it's 2 months ago, Asthma ear eating intense 3DO. Just look at that screenshot and don't tell me this has nothing
Right.
to do with sex.
Right, exactly.
God oh freaking mighty.
But how easy is that?
I see. I don't. Here's what it
This
boils down.
chick has got it figured out. She doesn't have to, you know.
You know what? Talking to Chad Elkins, a lot of these webcam girls are getting financially savvy.
Uh-huh.
They're starting to save up money, you know, set up an LLC, throw money into a SEP IRA. These gals are the smart ones.
Mm-hmm.
This gal's smart, not going to college for some bullshit degree that's going to make her $11 an hour, which she could have made fresh out of high school. And here she is. She's young. She knows what she's doing. She got great cans.
Yep.
And she knows she's got your number, guys. And that number's not that hard to get. What is with the fucking elf ears? Why?
You talk about
these people.
Beta geeks. I mean, yeah.
God
they probably watched Lord of the Rings and they really liked how Gabrielle talked or something like that.
We're
just like, ooh, baby.
Here's what's funny. All right, so she's flaunting her cleavage in pretty much every end. And then you get, you know, this one is 240,000 views, 167, 170, 234,000, 193, 156. Then you get to the one where she's got her tongue sticking out, 864,000.
Yeah. Well, there's one that's 920.
Where's
kissing
that?
sounds, kissing and mouth sounds to help you fall asleep.
Oh, God.
And we'll do the asthma snoring channel, right? We'll do the comforting sounds of snoring.
Yeah.
For those people who are really into that.
You girls, you girls keep on going, man. If you girls are smart enough to know, and this is what angers me so much. Men and women are different, and they both have their strengths and weaknesses, and you got to play to your strengths. Women know that they're okay. I can't say that. Smart women know that their youth and beauty is like their biggest advantage, and they play to that. Like this young lady here does. I guarantee you, she's a millionaire. If she'd saved her money and wasn't your standard dumbass 23-year-old girl who just pisses it away on shoes and Lord knows whatever else. But then for every one of her, how many are there that, well, I'm going to try and be a guy and I'm going to major in college, but not really major in engineering or something that's hard, but, you know, something that's kind of quasi. And then I have this make-believe job, but I'm going to bitch and whine that I only make $40,000 a year as a social worker, even though I'm trying to save the world. It's like, if you just play to your strengths, you're going to do real well. And every woman, well, not every woman, unless not every woman's going to be good looking, but most women, if you stay in shape, this is the future. This is the future of employment.
Right.
You'll make more doing asthma. You could be more as a conservative thought. You could do more as a LARPer or whatever if you're just good looking and you don't have to go to college. And you will make way more than any guy will fresh out of college. Way more.
And all these chicks, you just wonder about this Jinx person. I'm sure she does personal asthma sessions.
Oh yeah,
and that's where she really cleans up.
God,
you know, because I think there's an article that just came out that prostitution is just exploding. You know, shooting hot, it's exploding,
right?
Because of all the social media that's just so easy to.
Yeah. You know, you get a fan, and then you get a fan. Look, the internet could expose you to millions of men, and in that millions of men, some guy's going to have a fetish for your specific look or whatever, and they're going to be paying $10,000 or whatever just to have you that one night.
A personal asthma session, that chick saying your name and whispering your name and all that kind of stuff. I bet you they make a ton of money.
And you know what? It ain't even prostitution. It's just
it's not.
It's
totally legal. I mean, it's completely 100% legal everywhere.
No STDs,
right?
No chance of
no
STDs.
Risks, no nothing.
No risks.
You know, you're not risking, leaked photos or whatever, you naked or all that kind of stuff. Revenge. What is it called? Revenge porn.
Revenge porn. Yeah. Did you ever read the Seeking Arrangement Will Burst the College Bubble? That article I wrote.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Yeah. This is all this right here.
It's so weird how, I mean, it's not weird. It's totally predictable how it all just reverts back. I mean, they're so girl power, equality, all that kind of stuff, and everything. Even when times are really good and you've got plenty of opportunities with all the affirmative action and all the make work and everything, like you just said, that you go to school for a
At
worthless
least,
degree.
I hate to say it, at least 60% of women's jobs are made up bullshit that
Yeah.
that serve no purpose in America except as a jobs welfare program.
But my point is that even with all of that infrastructure set up to benefit women, they still will do this kind of prostitution style stuff, like ASMR and like the
No,
cam girls and prostitution and all that kind of stuff. They
I
still revert back to that, even when we're more prosperous than ever. It's not like Venezuela where they were forced to do that just to
eat.
exactly. But
No, well, come on, think about it. How much money is backing up the Make Work Government Jobs Program in the federal and state budgets? Maybe $2 trillion a year. What do men spend on pursuing women?
Right.
8, 9, 10 trillion a year.
Right.
Do you want to make your $20 an hour? Or do you want to make $160 an hour?
Yeah. So so there's an argument there that because we're so prosperous, men have more disposable income, and even with all of this infrastructure that was set up, it's still more lucrative to appeal to that.
It will always, unless you are one of the very few statistical, Sheryl Sandberg to make CEO type of money. Because of the numbers involved, because what men want, and we still produce the majority of stuff, we still earn the majority of income. And the number one thing we demand, look, take a look at what do women want? What do women spend their money on? If you look at a female's budget and you take out mandatory things like rent and health insurance and all that, what is their disposable income spent on?
See, I'm not good at this because Mrs. DT is kind of like me.
Yeah. Well, you can't. Mrs. DT is a unicorn. Okay, I'm talking your rank and file American women. What do they spend their money on?
I'm trying to look good, I guess.
It's spread. You see, the reason you're grasping for straws is because there is no one thing. There's shoes, there's purses, there's clothes, there's experiences, there's dining, there's martinis, there's flirtinis, there's chocolate martinis, there's travel. Right,
It's anything that makes them look good in a selfie. That's what they spend their money on. So that could be vacations, that could be nice cars, that could be anything where they can take a picture and go, look at me, look what I got.
Okay, all right. But in terms of national income product accounts, that's spread across cars, vehicles, travel, makeup, clothes, experiences.
It's the 80% of financial decisions, right? But
made by women. It's spread across multiple industries. What do men spend the majority of their money on?
Beer, probably.
Okay, all right, true. But what's the largest single expense men spend their money on?
Well, they'll spend it on women, trying to get women.
Pursuit of women. So whereas women are not pursuing men, the money chasing after men for male porn, male attention, male this, male that, it's just not there. There's no, you and I cannot become ASMR gods because no gal is going to want that. But
that would be a great YouTube channel. That would be a great YouTube channel title, ASMR gods.
ASMR gods. But almost all, damn well near all of it, I'd even say 95% if you could say, well, he got a fancy car. That's not for girls. No, that's for girls.
Yes.
Most of that is channeled towards getting gals.
Yep.
And so there's going to always be a higher demand for one single product, and that is female youth and beauty. And that's going to drive the market value way up. This is why and God almighty, if you girls spent 1/20th of the time you're going to spend on some worthless degree at the gym and dieting, you will make so much more. These gals aren't even doing porn. They're just, you can make twice at least what you're going to make as some kind of assisted reserve substitute special ed teacher. And certainly more than if you're at a barista coffee shop. But man, it's so rare that they got women being good looking, even thinking about that. And there you think about capitalizing on your looks. Oh, well, you're just betraying the race, or you're just doing what men want. You're putting on heels and that. Dude, I'll tell you this right now. If guys wanted to pay me $160 per hour to like go, I'd fucking do it. Fuck
You
economics.
gotta
Fuck
whisper.
finance.
You don't sound like a demon. You
I'm
gotta
a
whisper.
very angry the angry asmerer.
So it's not pleasure tingles. It's like fear.
It's
This is the asthma that
this
makes
is
you piss your pants.
yeah, dominatrix asmerer. The guy, it's like you're my asmerer bitch. Who owns you? You know, it's
Yeah. I mean, I think women don't recognize, I think when they're young, and just like men are stupid when we're young, right? Women are stupid too. They don't understand that even maybe not the ugliest, but young women, they're all good looking, pretty much. If they take care of themselves, they're all good
that's
looking.
a huge if, because I think over half millennial women now have tattoos. I don't know what it is going to be with Gen X.
Right.
One of the little ones I used to know, which, man, was that cripplingly sad. I went through my box of mementos. I'm cleaning it out, and I saw these pictures this little kid drew for me when she was like 6. Now she's 17. She's got a tattoo, dyes her hair. I'm like, fuck. It's just like,
what happened?
what happened? So it's a huge if they stay in shape, if they don't get tatted up, and if they don't fucking dye their hair blue, the side they didn't shave.
But when you're young, I mean, it's easier to stay in shape too. I mean, you're
Yes.
just kind of naturally, you've just gone through your growth spurt.
Right.
You know, you've still got, you know, the whole baby fat thing, you know, although, you know, she's 18, she's 19, she's 20, she's still got a little bit of that baby fat or whatever. That's because it's not hard for them to stay looking good. It just takes a little bit of effort.
Right.
And that's why even the ones that don't make any effort still look pretty good.
Right. And so in the meantime, do you want to drop $100 on a webcam, you know, $80 on this mic, and then just go there? Hey guys, so I want to talk about Austrian economics. Why I think capitalism is great. And then these fucking cocks. He's my buddy.
Then share it all over.
And then do a little emoticon with the hearts in the eyes. Thanks, Bob.
Right. It's the hot chick saying obvious shit. That was my a few years ago now. That's I really coined that term when Bill O'Reilly got taken down. By hot chicks who say obvious shit.
You nailed it on the head. Hot chicks saying obvious shits. The real issue, and I'm trying to help women, and you know, the reason gals don't like it is because I'm not telling them, well, oh yeah, you're going to make 6 figures as a social worker, helping children save the world, making change. That's all. I want to save the world and help children and change lives. It's like, yeah, you're not gonna. No, you're not. They don't want to be Sheryl Sandberg. This I'm actually trying to help. Like here. For $200 fucking dollars, you can go and make as much as a guy coming out of accounting school with a bachelor's degree. You can make about 50 or 60 grand if you just stay in fucking shape. And in case you're like, hey, you can talk about the dumbest shit. You have a dog. Hey, it's like Jenna Marbles, right? You know her?
I don't know her, but
well, not personally, obviously.
No, I've heard of her, but I've never seen any of her stuff. I don't even know what she looks like.
She's like the original. She's just a cute blonde. And she had a little dog. And you know what her channel was about?
Talking to the dog.
Just her. And hey guys.
Yeah.
Now she's way smarter than that because she's capitalized on it. But my God, ladies, look, there's guys out there that are willing to spend 2/3 global GDP just to see a picture of your cleavage, not even your tits, just your cleavage.
Because the imagination is more powerful sometimes. So.
I think a lot of it also is these young guys are just scared as shit to even approach a girl in the real world. I really do believe. Yeah, I really believe it. Yeah.
No, I agree. Hey, did you hear, speaking of hot chicks saying obvious shit, that Lauren Southern retired?
She made her money. I bet you she made her money. Found
does
a rich
that make
guy.
Do you respect that? I imagine you would maybe respect that she went in. She completely dominated because of thirsty guys. She was a hot chick saying obvious shit. And she'd actually did do something. I mean, she went into the line of fire. She went into situations where, you know, she could get hurt, and I think she did get attacked and things like that. And she's done. She's decided to hang it up.
I respect her as a conservathought, and there's nothing wrong as long as you admit that that's your profession deep down inside. I do not respect her as a journalist. I don't respect her as a YouTube personality because she didn't have to work for it.
Right.
Period. End of discussion. You're playing on easy mode. Don't even approach me. But I am absolutely proud of the fact that she duped all you dumbasses into subscribing and donating money. Well, you know, and eh, it's when I write these great articles and it goes like a fart in church. And then it's like, oh, here's a girl with tits. So she could say not even the exact same thing, 1/10 the same thing. And because she's a blonde chick with tits, and then she makes hundreds of thousands of this. So good for her. Good for her. I'm very
So
happy.
did you already talk about speaking of that, did you already talk about the Amish thing on the
Oh, the
podcast?
gal at the airport?
Well, did you talk about how that blew up? Did you
A little bit. We talked
okay.
about it I don't know what else there really is to say. I mean, it got into Spurgville. And people were saying like I'm a pedophile. It's like,
it was hilarious.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. I mean, if you guys want, go to my subscribe to me. Okay, I'll tell you the good news of this. So all that shit show, all the hate and kill yourself and set yourself on fire. And it's like this coming from the left.
Right.
My subscribership on Twitter went up by like 15%. Like I got another 800 and 900. So now I'm within shooting range of 10,000.
But it's to your point of, you can do all this great analysis, but then just a tweet talking about how normal looking Amish chicks
are now hotter.
Seem hot because American women are so ugly now,
yeah,
or ugly themselves up on purpose, and everybody just goes nuts.
Oh,
I mean, it just shows what gets the attention. I mean, that's the asthma effect, right?
Yeah,
It's the easy thing.
Yeah,
the left is just waiting for that trigger to just go off on somebody because they get off on going off.
I don't think they were waiting for me to I think it wasn't there. I didn't say anything criticizable. There was nothing wrong I said or even controversial. What I did is deliver a direct hit to the Reichstag in World War II, and just caught an inordinate amount of flack because it was such a precise hit. And it's true. I went to the airport, didn't really pay attention because like you kind of get in the zone. And I don't. Also, I saw on the corner of your eye, you kind of see like a shapely female figure. Like, oh, what's over there? And it was kind of like, oh, it's an Amish girl or a Mennonite girl, some gal with the dress and everything. And I looked, I'm like, oh, it's a comely young lady, And they're like, wow, she's thin, she's got a dress. And I'm like, wait, she's the hottest one here. Yep. And the reason I said that is because I looked around and there was nothing. I mean, it's like when you go to Walmart, you don't really notice the people in Walmart. They're just kind of fat and ugly to begin with, so they become background noise.
Yes, exactly.
But the women at the airport at this particular time, and again, I admit it could be because I was flying Spirit Airlines, but they were fat, they were tattooed. One gal had purple hair, even though she had an okay body, but tattoos all around. And then I made the tweet, and it's not a gimmick, it's not a joke, it's true. American women, on average, are so ugly, so overweight, so mutilated with their bodies and their piercing. And that's what it is, mutilation. Don't tell me you're expressing yourself. You're just a conformist. You don't want to hit the gym. Oh, wow, it took a lot to dye your hair a crazy color. Yeah, how about you get your ass to the gym and stop eating the ho-hos? It was a fact. The most attractive woman in that place was a 25, 24-year-old Amish girl.
Yeah.
And
or Mennonite, or whatever.
And when I said American women are so ugly that the hottest girl here is an Amish girl, that was true, and that's what triggered them, and they went ape shit. And it wasn't. I mean, after a while I stopped reading through the comments because I'm like, whatever. Because you could click on the profiles, 100% correlation, ugly, mentally ill. Yeah. I mean, exactly.
Or cucks or white knight.
Yeah, there's plenty of white knights and beards and all that, and fat and all that. And it's exactly the people that, you'd surmise. And that's what it was. It's because it's deadly accurate.
They were obsessed. They were obsessed with your hat and your profile.
Yeah, they were obsessed with my hat. And here they are calling me an incel. I'm like, no. If you looked at your profile.
Yep.
And you gotta understand, there's two types of fedoras. There's the real ones, a la Humphrey Bogart, and then there's the fedora dopey, miladies, which is the short kind of almost pin hat. But yeah, that was funny. And but then all of a sudden my subscribership, because for everyone who was complaining, there was like 5 or 6 who thought it was a brilliant thing. So my subscribership is like to 8,200 now. So if you guys, I don't know what happens at 10,000, but if you guys would subscribe me on Twitter, I guess that's where I lay down my mean memes. and I make my witticisms if you want to tune in. But yeah, you can subscribe there.
I just thought it was, I mean, it's just classic that you could do all kinds of great stuff. And like you said, yeah, it just, there's no reaction at all. And then one little simple observation about how maybe looking a little bit more traditional would be a good thing. I mean, and everybody goes batshit crazy, and they're posting, pictures of what's that show with the women dressed in red and and all that.
Dressed in red.
That's what they're always parading around in those. It's something wife. It's like the
Housewives of X County or something.
It's a fictionalized in the future where women are just the
Stepford Housewives.
It's almost like that, but it's where they're used to basically just breed, and they've got no rights. And
yeah, because that's exactly what I said. That's exactly.
It's just so crazy, because they wear white hats too. So obviously that's what you want, right?
Obviously,
since you like somebody that's wearing a white hat, you want that future.
Obviously, because I said, hey, here's a shapely 25-year-old gal. I want to enslave women. Because that's why I always advocate to go major in STEM. That's
Kevin McCummer's got the answer. It's called The Handmaid's Tale or Handmaiden's Tale. Yeah.
Oh, all right. How are we on Super Chats?
There's not a lot, but Atham did come in here.
Okay.
There's Atham. Let's see where I think he gave. Atham came in $2.22. Another Black Brigade sounder. Oh my god! And then he had another. And then he had another one for $2. Do they have chemical engineering jobs in South Dakota? And I imagine they do.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure they do. I think, unfortunately, you probably have to go to Sioux Falls. That's the problem. Is Sioux Falls is a way more diversified economy than Rapid City.
Yep.
Rapid City is just tourism, I guess, and maybe some ranching. That's about it.
Yeah, they've got a hospital there, and
yeah, it really is. There really isn't, and maybe that's a good thing. Like, no one can just move to Rapid City. You got to have a job. That was the thing. I don't know, because we have the same realtor. It's like, well, what are you going to do for work? And I've gotten that question more than once when I'm like, okay, there's just no jobs here. It's like, well, I work from home, so maybe that's kind of cool. Maybe that could be the future. Thailand, where programmers and people who work from home go to Rapid City and just chill out.
Well, I want to try to get the My Pillow guy to move there. He's in Minnesota. He's in Minnesota. He's a good conservative. He's
ex-drug user.
Yeah, pro-Trump guy, and he's all proud of manufacturing in Minnesota, where they ass rape you. I mean, it's like move to South Dakota. They got rail lines. They would have people perfectly, willing to do manufacturing of pillows.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's one of those things where, I mean, people need to just get the fuck out of these leftist hellholes and just go, because it's sort of, I mean, when you get enough people in an area, you're gonna make an economy. It's gonna happen, period. Right? I mean,
DT. I'm gonna stop you now. I know. You once again have hope.
I know.
People, do you remember when we went to the Republican meeting?
I know.
Do you remember when I gave a speech?
I know.
How many of them have their balls in their wife's purse?
Yep.
How many of them are financially free versus how many of them still have? Dude, it's you, me, and Doc. That's it. Right. And maybe my buddy Lloyd, of which you two guys hate each other.
We don't hate each other.
Well, okay, whatever.
He was an anti-Trump guy, and who ended up being right there. I don't know if he ever capitulated on that. But
anyway, that's about it. And even he's got to get his wife's permission to go. Because they still. You cannot overestimate how addicted Minnesotans are to their familial roots and how comfortable they are.
Right.
We're really talking the frog in the frying pan here.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, and just give up on it, man. They're not going to show up.
It's worth saying it, though. It's worth saying it that it's possible. And so it's kind of like piss or get off the pot, fish or cut bait. There is an answer here. You're just too fucking cowardly and stupid to do it.
Let me ask you this. Minnesotans, can you think of a more self-loathing group of people?
No.
They hate themselves. Do you think they're going to get the energy to get up and get out of Dodge?
Well, see, I meant the people like us. There are definitely people like us, at least approaching us in Minnesota. And there's just something holding them back. And it's that they like to complain. They're really good at complaining about things. They're really good at defining problems. They're really good at finding
Right.
finding solutions to problems and just talking logic day in, day out. And
David Strom, Sue Jeffers,
yes,
Mitch Hedberg, not Mitch Hedberg. What's his
Jason
name?
Lewis. Yeah, all these guys.
Well, Jason Lewis left, but these people are all, as you described, great people, perfect, but they're not going to move.
No,
they're not. They're here. They're
right.
stuck here. And I don't know if you listened to the last podcast I did with Elkins. I talked about our team and how when you look at, socialists are going to socialist, Democrats are going to parasite, Keith Ellison's going to stick his dick in your ass. That's what that's how they make their money. They don't work for a living. That's expected. But then when you look at your own team and realize basically what a bunch of losers they are too.
They're bending over and spreading their cheeks.
They're not even doing that, but it's
God damn it, I have to bend. God, look at me. I have to bend over and spread my cheeks. God damn it, this is not right. Fucking shit. And they complain the whole time as they get fucked.
Right. But just because they're conservative or Republican or libertarian or simply not leftist doesn't mean they're independent minded. They're just as conformist. They have debts, they have loans. You want to know what the first hint was? That maybe the people on my team weren't exactly at the same level of independent thought, rugged individual Americanism that Cappy was.
You talked about it. Is this when Rookie was talking about
how even it predates that? That's a perfect example, though. You got a conservative talk show host who sent his daughter to a fucking Marxist school and was shocked that they were Marxist. Right. This predates it. I'll give you a hint. You failed me in this regard.
What?
Yes. Yes. It was like danger close, like it was danger close calling it in. And I realized, holy shit.
I don't know. You'll have to tell me.
Silver dollar bikini.
Oh,
I'm a man of my household, and me and my wife, not you particularly, but all these guys on the internet. Oh, and I'm an alpha male, and my woman sucks my dick, and we have great sex. My own well, and I need some precious metals. I'm like, I am a capitalist. I will meet both needs. I will enhance your sexual life, and I will get you a great position in silver. Get Get it?
And then, what would you have done if that had taken off? You'd be smelting all day, or you'd be
I had an idea. I had an idea of like using my friend's child labor. Like have this assembly line, and they'd just be making and.
What did you use? Hot glue? What did you
epoxy?
Use?
Epoxy.
Okay.
Yeah. And I did make money off of it, but when I realized that the only people really buying from me was Middle Eastern men over in California, God bless them. I guess they still have some fun. They might still be alpha, but pound. I'm a conservative alpha male, and my wife who's got big cans, and we have crazy sex. And like, no, you don't. You got to get her permission. And when you ran, you didn't even ask her because you were a mouse. And that's when I realized the people on my team are not me. The people on my team are not just going to pick up stakes and leave. Because we have good schools.
Silver dollar bikini? Silver dollar bikini, though?
That was the first hint that maybe not everybody went to Ranger School in old Cappy's brigade here. That was the first hint that there wasn't going to be a group of people migrating to South Dakota or Tennessee or Texas, and there'd be this massive capital flight and brain drain out of Minnesota. No, it proved to me it was the indication of the proto-cuck era where, you know what? You're all going to sit there and bitch and whine, but then you married a leftist wife. You bailed her out of her student loans. She votes Democrats because nothing's too good for my children.
See, these ASMR chicks, they should order a silver dollar bikini and then flick the silver and make it ring. That would be a great ASMR.
Or chink them together like chink, 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 chink,
chink, chink, chink. Really, so I would have never guessed silver dollar bikini was the.
Well, it was the first hint where some didn't add up. For all the bravado and we got to get positions in precious metals. I'm like, hey, this would be a fun way to get, precious metals. And all guys are like me. they have a gal who does crazy stuff, and we're all and it's great. And it's like, why is no one here? Where is everybody? What happened?
Maybe they were just freaked out about the idea of Cappy in the basement, like with those goggles on that zoom in, like, or they got magnifying goggles, you seen it, and using epoxy on something that's going to be on their lady's naked body.
You know what?
Kind of.
You know what? No one even thought that. No one even thought that. But anyway, that was indicated to me that there was something. I'm even going to write an article about it, because there's several other instances where if you really look at your team, it's a bunch of people on the internet being bravado. And then once the internet goes away and it's like, hey, let's get going. Like the number of guys who claim they're alpha, although this has kind of been exposed. And then you meet them in person. You're like, dude, you're a fat, ugly fuck who's a virgin, who can't run, who can't stay in shape.
It's all pretending. It's all, that's what complaining basically is. If you're just sitting there complaining about the left all day long, it's kind of pretending that you care, because you're actually not going to do anything about it. And that's why I started podcasting, was because I was listening to Jason Lewis, and I'm just like, he was a big Going Galt guy, and he was,
he moved to North Carolina.
He started Galt.io and all that kind of stuff. But he never really went full in and said, this is how you do it. They dance around that issue. All these libertarians that are like, Ayn Rand, Atlas Shrugged, blah, blah, blah. Who is John Galt? Go Galt. They're full of shit. They won't take that step themselves. They won't just say, okay, yeah, there is a way to do this. There is no Galt's Gulch where there's a freaking force field like in Wakanda, but we can, kind of make our own Galt's Gulch in our own house or our own community, or go move to a different state or whatever.
I do not patronize any Minneapolis or St. Paul places except for W.A. Frost and Mancini's. That's it.
Right. Mancini's is cool.
Mancini's is cool. But yeah, it was kind of a sad statement, though a compliment. But Chad was like, when I was buying the property and selling the house, he's like, wow, you really actually do what you say you're going to do.
I heard that. I heard that moment. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, thank you. But ain't that fucking sad?
Right. Exactly. And I'm like, I've got a family, I've got a family. I've got roots here. And I'm going. I'm just up and leaving. And I had my last day was yesterday, and a coworker of mine had a little thing out on the patio for me for people to wish me well. And overall, the response is kind of, wow, you're actually doing this. Yeah. That it does kind of, you see something, you see a glimmer, like light in their eyes, like, maybe I should do this. Maybe this is something I could do. They won't, but people, they look at you like you're, I don't know, from another planet or something. You
might as well be. These are not normal. You're not a normal human. Right. These people, when we could go into the psycho, neurochemical, sociological reasons, but I don't know, maybe I'm just too literal. When you say, God, I want to get out of here, well, fucking get out of here then. Mm-hmm. No, don't just stand here.
And I couldn't do that in my job because I worked for government. So I couldn't say there's a few people I could say to. Right. Because I sussed out that they were like me. They at least, voted like I'd vote. And so I'd kind of tell them the real story behind the story. But most of it, I had kind of just had to say, well, we're just going for an adventure. Or, just going for an adventure. You kind of have to make it a palatable answer for them, because you'd expose yourself too much if you say, yeah, I'm trying to get away from fucking commies like you. If you say that to them, it wouldn't go over too well.
I want to see women that are hotter than Amish chicks on a Tuesday. That's
right. But it is. I think when people see somebody doing something, they realize, they start to question their own decisions and they'll say the right things, but they'll never follow through. They'll realize, yeah, this probably is the way to do it, but I'm in debt, or my family's here. Or never this job is too good. I've got a pension coming. One guy described the job as golden handcuffs.
They are golden handcuffs. Yep.
Have you heard that expression?
Oh, before? Yeah. Okay. No, I've heard it before. And you're deadly right. You put in the main things that are anchoring them is probably debt. Okay. Mm-hmm. So there's that. Next thing would be the wife. And the wife, I would guarantee you, controls so much more because the kids are in school. My parents. And I made it very clear to GF, like, we are not living, where your parents live. All right. We're going and doing our own life. And there's these things called planes. And you hop on the planes. And then when we are working on our own, you could visit them for months at a time. I don't care. But people think like you got to be nearby. I will criticize them because I love them. Mr. and Mrs. Elkins, Chad's parents, they bought a condo or a house near their other kids because the other kid had a kid, their grandkid. They bought a place near the grandkid. I'm like, what? That doesn't make any economic sense. Fly there and get a luxury hotel if you want.
Right.
Even building an extra room, like, oh, people will come and visit. Like, no, for that extra mortgage you're paying on that square footage, you can get a hotel and they're not even there. Then they're out. They're gone. No one, everybody is anchored because of some kind of thing. Either it's debt, finances, career, or usually the wife wants to be close to the good schools, my parents. And you're not free anymore, which is again why fuck you. You guys aren't alpha males. You're not conservative. Okay, you might be conservative politically, but you're not rugged individualistic Americans. You're not. No, that in the olden days you used to go west, young man, go west. They're just not. They're just not. You ever listen to K-Fan or of K-Fan?
Yes.
Okay. I don't
listen sports radio where there's the pictures all around town where the balding guy is crossing his arms and looking at the camera all tough.
That's all. We're back to back. Hang on, let's look up K-Fan because I got to look it up.
I don't know. I see those these tough guys that talk about sports.
K-Fan.
Yeah. Okay.
I know. It's mockable. It's utterly ridiculable. Here it is. K-Fan. I wonder if it's going to start playing. So someone was telling me one of the main hosts of one of their main shows, his dream is just to move to South Dakota.
Okay.
And that's all he wants. He wants to live in the Black Hills and live in South. That's his dream. I'm like, fucker,
go.
You work in radio. Go. Exactly. You just need one of these and the internets. And
right.
The technology exists. Why is he here?
Right.
Yeah. And so
see, I think it's all an excuse. I think it's easy to just, it's like when, and you'll go, yeah, make this point, DT. But I don't think I've ever said this to you. Like if you ask a guy if he can go out for a drink or go out and whatever, right? Mm-hmm. And the guy will go, well, I need to ask my wife, or well, my wife is doing this tonight, so I got to be home. That's usually an excuse. It's not actually that reason. They just don't want to go, right? And so I think all of this stuff about moving or whatever, all those reasons are just excuses. If they really wanted to go, you'd go. I mean, we live in a big country. There's lots of opportunity. If you had got your shit together, you can make it anywhere. All kinds of people in this country are irresponsible every fucking day. And you're gonna fall back on, well, it would be irresponsible for me to just go move here without a job. Well, come on. I mean, you'll be fine. If you're a good, hardworking person, you're gonna find a way. You got to trust yourself.
Right. No, especially in today's economy where it's really good. It boils down to, yes, they don't want to. Probably because they're lazy. They don't want to pack. They don't want to move. It takes effort. I mean, even me, I'm still technically unpacking. I'm going to hop in the truck and drive the last bit of boxes that I've consolidated out to Wisconsin for storage. And then I'll be cleaned up and I'll be done. And then the next move is out to South Dakota.
It's a lot of effort. We haven't bought hardly anything. But when you live in a place for 20 years, you accumulate a lot of shit. Yeah, and we've taken truckloads after truckloads up to the thrift store, and there's a lot. I mean, it is a big effort. It is not fun, but you've got to just keep your eye on the prize. Anything that you're working, anything worthwhile is hard work, right? Wouldn't you say?
Yes, I would say
it's sort of a cliched thing, but I would say that's true.
Superior people do not do average amounts of work.
Right.
Superior people put in exceptionally high levels of work. That's why we're superior. That's why we're successful. It's not that we're better or smarter. We just work more.
Exactly.
That's it.
Exactly.
So what, out of curiosity, what was, so you just left and now you're, how long did you have this job for? Like a couple of years?
This job was only like 7 or 8 months. So it was short term. Basically, I got the job. I had always been in the private sector. I had always worked as a consulting engineer.
Right.
And I kind of always wondered, well, what's it like on the other side of that paywall? You know,
Mm.
what's it like working for the client
Mm.
directly as the client? What would it be like being the client? And I had my suspicions as to what government work is like, and it was even worse than I thought. So my best analogy or metaphor for what a government worker is a government worker is the hot chick that's never had to buy herself a drink ever in her life.
So
She's
this
never.
is, may I interrupt? Is this why teachers think that their job is hard because they've never had a real job?
Yes,
Okay. All right.
exactly. So what it is it's not necessarily their fault. They've just never lived in reality.
Mm.
When you've got a government job, you don't know what it really is like to work. You don't know what it's like to have your job at risk if you don't perform. It's like that line in Ghostbusters where you've never been to the private sector. They expect results,
Right.
right? Yeah, that's what
100%
it is.
deadly accurate. Right.
Yep. And so that's it. It's not. There's a lot of good people in government. There's a lot of good people that are doing a good job, but they're swamped by the people that aren't doing a good job. The people that are coasting. The people that are just there to show up, do their 40 hours, get their pension, and they do not live in reality. It is not. It was it's the easiest fucking job I ever had. I mean, it was so easy.
Well, I mean, I often wonder, is it a jobs program? In part,
Yes,
there's
it is.
necessary stuff that has to be done. Maybe that's
Yep.
10%. Then it's a jobs program. Then I figure it's an affirmative action dumping ground.
Yes.
Okay.
Big time
right.
on the affirmative action stuff. For the longest time, the right would say, well, left, we've got equality. It's equal opportunity that we're striving for, not equal results. And of late, in the last 5 years or so, the left has said, yeah, you're right. It is about equal results. We'll call that equity. And so
Right.
now there is no such thing as equality anymore in government. It's all about equity. And it's maddening. It's just,
Right.
they just throw it in your face. They've got these employee resource groups. I think even the private sector has these employee resource groups.
Oh, it's permeating into the private sector. We'll get to that, actually, interestingly enough. But yeah, I can.
But yeah, and that's my best metaphor for government work is the hot chick that's never had to ever buy herself a drink and and just does not understand what the real world is actually like. And you can't necessarily blame them. I mean, that's all they know. But it is so easy. It is so easy.
Well, that's been a number one complaint I get a lot of from clients at Asshole Consulting who work in the government. If you're especially smart or a bit industrious, like, my God, I'm so bored. I only work an hour a day, and but I can't leave because of X, Y, and Z policy. And then we got to go to these meetings that have nothing to do with me.
Yep.
You're basically being paid to be a prisoner of sorts.
Yes, it's the golden handcuffs. It's the golden handcuffs.
It is. No, I don't think I could do it. I'm just so fucking thankful we had the internet, because otherwise I would have been stuck in banking or some other kind of fucking career like that.
It just amazes me that no one thinks, like, even in that scenario, even in government, I was looking at their union contract or whatever, and I'm looking at the health benefits and when the benefits kick in and all that. And you get full health benefits, which the health benefits in government are out of sight. They're crazy good. They're like a $20,000 a year benefit if you got a family. And I'm looking at it, and it's like you can cut your hours to 30 hours per week and still get full benefits. And so I'm like, okay, if you cut your hours to 30 a week, you're making more per hour by cutting your hours.
Right.
So that it just is like, why isn't everybody doing this? If you're
because they're government worker, they're not that smart.
Right? They want those 40 hours. They need those 40 hours
rather than paid per hour.
Well, it is. I mean, it's salaried, but it's basically, if you don't work the 40, you don't get the 40. So, but I mean, all of them, and nothing would change, because I guaranteed people are at most operating at about 50% capacity.
Oh, God. That's even good for the private sector. I'd be surprised it's above 10% in the public sector. Private sector, I never went much above 33%. Never.
Yeah, I was running on average 10%. I think there was only a few times that I had to run on all cylinders, but it was out of those 7 or 8 months, it was maybe a week where I was on all cylinders.
Yeah.
And the rest of the time it was just, well, do you need some help today? You need some, how can I help you today? And you just had to have this perspective of, yeah, you're not going to be super busy. You got to kind of find your own work. You got to, you just kind of got to be there. And,
that's why I wrote
but it worked. It made it possible for us to launch pad out to South Dakota. So
yeah, no, it gives you time.
What made it worth it.
If you're smart, I mean, I wrote about this in Bachelor Pad Economics. Is look, no, because I knew it. I knew that private sector or public sector, you're at the absolute most, you're going to be occupied 50% of the time. Don't dilly dally for 4 hours a day doing nothing. Like, do any kind of research or work you can.
Yeah.
To, find a house, get another job, work on the side, anything, any kind of side hustle. Look, if prisoners can have a goddamn economy based on, they can get drugs and cell phones and cigarettes if they can run drug empire. Yeah. If El Chapo can run a goddamn drug empire from jail, you should be able to run a little side racket working over at a bank. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. All I had to do is I'd listen for the footsteps. I'd be doing something. Oh, footsteps are coming. Switch over to this screen. Okay, they're gone. Switch over to that screen.
The best thing, Alt Tab.
What's Alt Tab?
You know what Alt Tab is?
No.
Alt. Okay, hold down Alt.
Well, I don't want to do it now. What's it going to do?
You're not gonna. What am I going to do? Tell you how to just hit Alt and then touch Tab. Just tap Tab once. See what happens.
Where's Tab? Oh, there it is. Alt,
Tab. All right, now do it again.
Alt, Tab.
Something comes
up on the screen. No, this might be Windows 10. I don't know if
it doesn't
fill the whole screen. It's just a little thing of Windows.
Okay, in the olden days, a la Windows 10, if you hit Alt Tab, it would just switch a screen to your previous screen. So I'd always have an Excel spreadsheet up, and I just hit Alt Tab. Its own, come in.
Okay, yeah. Now it brings up a menu of screens you can choose from.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So it's, oh my God, I can't, you'd be in trouble now in corporate America, Clarey. You couldn't just, the side hustle is a little bit more difficult now. It's Bill Gates fucking with you.
Fucking nerd had I got an idea. This'll get me pussy. Boss, I came up with an idea to improve the product.
One last thing about government workers and government in general. They have a bigotry towards the private sector.
They got a bigotry.
They are bigots towards the private sector. They see themselves as public servants. We're making less money here, all that kind of stuff. And I come in from the private sector and I'm like, there's a reason why I'm here. This makes more money when you do the actual proper equation, people. You get more vacation, you get sick time, you get more government holidays, and the health benefits are out of sight. And you do the math, and working for government is so much more lucrative than for the people actually doing the work. Now, if you're a muckety muck in the private sector, you're making a lot of money, right? But the people actually doing the work, it makes a lot more sense to be in government. And government should be thankful. They should just be down on their knees thanking that there are consultants out there willing to do the work and get pushed around and demonized and, oh, you get to charge your time for the golf outing. I mean, that was one of the things that I heard. You get to charge. We have to take vacation for the golf outing. You get to charge your time for the golf outing. Why the fuck do you think that those consultants are there? Do you think they want to hang out with you? No, this is all business. Of course you have to pay the consultant to go to a golf outing that they don't want to be at. They're not there to have fun. They're there to drum up business.
Do you think these government workers, because they're the pretty girl who never had to pay for a drink, do you think they'll ever be appreciative of what they got?
No, never.
So
it'll always be more. It'll always be more.
Are they ever going to be happy?
No, yeah, I know. See, you heard the anger in my voice, and you're like, "Settle down, DT. These people are miserable people.
They're miserable. You could give them $10,000 a month; they'll still be miserable. It's great.
Exactly.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, it's the apex. And the other analogy is the apex fallacy. They look at the top. See, they only interact as government with the top people at these consulting firms.
Oh,
right?
Okay. All right.
And so they see, well, this person's got that car, this person's got that, or whatever. Private sector is so much better. They don't see all the people cube slaves that are there, that show up to work, turn on the computer, put on the headphones, don't interact with anybody. It's boring as fuck, and do all the hard work. And they're not nearly getting paid what the same person in government's getting.
How much you want to bet that ruins a lot of women's careers where they see a Sheryl Sandberg or a Theranos or who was the gal that was in charge of Yahoo?
I don't know.
Whatever her name was before that got bought by I bet you they only see that, or the mayor of Minneapolis. What was her name?
Oh, Betsy Hodges.
They only see the truly successful. They don't see. I mean, very literally, for every Sheryl Sandberg, there's got to be what, 25,000.
Oh God.
Rank and file nobodies making their $12 an hour.
Yep.
They really don't see that. They think I could become mayor. It's like, yeah, but you didn't grow up as a precious little rich bitch from Wayzata like Betsy Hodges did, or have the connections. And for every one of the mayors, there's, again, 5,000 unpaid Democrat Party volunteers going and flyering. Yeah.
Well, and the same thing happens in the podcasting world, though, too. Everybody thinks they can be Stefan Molyneux or something. You know, it's
we
like...
can't? What? That's what... I like Sex in the City. I thought if I just showed up to New York, I just showed up to podcast, I'd be as successful as Stefan Molyneux.
People make money at this. People make money. We can do this. You can do this. You can make money at this. And you list, Cernovich, all these guys that are just
Hang on.
Milo Yiannopoulos. And okay. Yeah.
Hang on. Have you heard about this YouTube camp?
No.
Here from the Daily Dot, I had to look up to see if the Daily Dot was legitimate or not, whether it was fake news. It's not. It leans left, but it's not fake news. Parents are spending thousands on YouTube camps that teach kids how to be famous. I'm not joking, TT. They're going to make a degree. You get a bachelor's degree in social media. They're going to make it happen. Sure. Various YouTube summer camps have begun launching across the nation, designed to turn regular elementary, middle school age children into bonfire internet sensations. Per a recent report from the Wall Street Journal, parents are spending nearly $1,000 a week for their children to learn how to create branded social media related content. I should go back to teaching community and like how to make money on the internet, how to make money as a YouTube creator. Though YouTube is not affiliated with or in any communication with the summer program, such camps are on the rise, and parents with means have made them a thing. Once anything for your precious child to actually go and do work, huh?
It is weird though. Even my kids were like, "Dad, you were a YouTuber?" There's this thing about being a YouTuber that's huge with kids.
Really?
Yeah, because that's basically how they've been raised, right? I mean, for us, it was being a rock star, it was being, the people on TV, being an actor, being a movie star. But for these kids, young kids, ever since YouTube got started, they watch YouTube, and it's like, these are the stars. That's what I want to be. How do I get to be that? God, it's weird. And all they do, most of what the kids watch, most of what they do is that they're gamers. Mm-hmm. They're playing video games and videoing themselves playing the video games. Or there was one kid that was really popular that basically played with toys. He got to test out the new toys. Mm-hmm. And they're pretty well put. The popular ones are pretty well put together with editing and all that kind of stuff. But they make tons of money just doing normal shit, and the kids just love watching it.
Yeah, there's a guy called Flippy or Blippy.
Okay,
and dude, this cat, this guy's he's 38, ex-military, 38, 39, a little younger than us. And he's like a plumber, but he wears loud colors, like super orange overalls and a loud orange plumber hat and blue stuff. And all he does is like go to zoos and film stuff and do great. And the production quality is great. I can't get the 2-year-old niece to pull away from that damn thing. If she had a choice, if she could speak English very well, and you say, kill Uncle Aaron or keep Blippy, she'll say, kill Uncle Aaron, because Blippy or Flippy or whatever his name is, and millions of views, millions. And boy, she is glued to that darn thing. And what he did before, he was like stand-up comic or something, like when the YouTubes was just starting. I think he tried to be a stand-up comic. And then there was one where don't quote me on this. It's something where he did something real grotesque. Like he took a picture of himself shitting, or he was filming somebody else shitting, and it had something to do with feces. And now this guy is like the most popular guy among the 1s to 4s.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yep. And I'm like, okay, but yeah, that's kind of weird that they're gonna say, "Oh, I want to be a YouTube celebrity." And
yeah, that's the thing to be. And they were just like shocked that I was like, "You're a YouTuber?" It's just like
you're shocked. They were shocked. Like, yeah, why is that good? What?
Right? It's like, no, never mind that I renovated the entire house or whatever, and I can do all these great things. Wow, you were on YouTube?
that whole engineering profession. It only took 4 years of my life.
Should we catch up on the super chats here?
Yeah, let's do that. And then I got some articles here we can go through. Then I'll let you go.
We actually got quite a few here. Okay, I think. All right. Somebody said a funny one here. Okay. No, I'm back. $2. Carlos Miranda. DT, start drinking whiskey again. It's entertaining. Yeah, it's a little too early. It's 5:00 somewhere, but it's still a little too early for that.
Well, you gotta go pick up your kids too, right? Or go down to the
there's a little graduation ceremony today, so
is today their last day?
Huh?
Is today their last day?
It's not the last day, but it's the 6th grade graduation today. So
are either of your daughters in the 6th? You have 2 of them. They're not the same age.
Right. Yeah. One of them's in 6th grade.
So. Oh, okay. So you all have to go to the 6th grade graduation.
Yep. Yeah. I don't want to show up to that.
God.
Drunk. That would be something. That would be bad.
Wait, aren't those kind of things you bring the flask in and you get drunk so it's tolerable? What the fuck is a 6th grade graduation?
Oh, I will admit it'll be a little emotional. It's the end of elementary school, man. And it's like your kids moving on to the next stage and your kids growing up, and it's kind of a rite of passage thing. So,
okay.
The time always passes fast. I mean, that's a truth.
That's true.
And so I just try to appreciate the moment because it's going to be gone. So that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. Anyway, I'm getting a little too
graduation.
Getting a little too, got to have a little violin playing for that little part of the podcast.
Are they going to play Pomp and Circumstance?
That would be funny if they did. But
they don't have the robes and the hat, do they?
No, they don't have. I'm sure they might have made a hat. Maybe they made some paper hats or something. I don't know what it's going to be, but talking about Pomp and Circumstance, when she graduated kindergarten, they played that. Oh, it was so cute. It was so cute.
Oh, this is painful.
I know, but you just don't get it. You don't get it.
I know, because I don't have little kids. Yeah. But it's kindergarten. What do you mean graduating from kindergarten?
Graduating kindergarten, yep.
What
they get the little diploma. They get the little diploma and get a picture.
And then next year they go to the room next door.
Yep,
in first grade.
Yep, yep, that's exactly right. Anyway, Young Sykes, $5. Aaron, question: my ex-girlfriend is in the Peace Corps, then grad school afterwards to be a grant writer. I was wondering, should I buy her Worthless to help her?
Is he trolling?
I don't know. It's $5.
I know it's $5. See, that's what I'm wondering. Is he trolling? Because if he's trolling, he knows he's just doing to piss me off.
Yeah, yeah.
But if he's legit, which you never know nowadays because no one bought $silver bikini.
Yeah, there's a lot of red flags in there.
You're asking you should dump her ass. This is a parasite. This is somebody who doesn't want to work. Assuming this is legit. And that's just, let's poke badgers with spoons again. There's old Clearmeister. Get his blood pressure up. You should dump her ass. You should be going out with someone who's a parasite, who's a lazy fuck like this. And not to mention, dumber than fuck to actually spend money on a master's degree to become a grant writer.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say you could go to a 2-year school or maybe even a 4-year to get into the grant writing business, because that is pretty big. There's a lot of government money out there.
Or
there's a lot of government money out there.
Or you just practice writing.
Yeah, but being in government, there is a certain way you need to write these things to check all those fucking boxes. And a normal person would not think that. A normal person would go, oh, okay, I write this up this way. I tell the truth. I blah, blah, blah. I'll get the grant. No, you got to kind of check boxes.
Yeah,
There's
I'm
there's
black, female, quadriplegic,
yeah, all
sexual.
that
Right.
kind,
Yeah.
all
Okay.
that kind of stuff. So
So
you
we can
might,
guess.
yeah, you might need some training, maybe. But there's probably just a training course that would help with grant writing. So, yep. So dumper.
Okay. All right. Two things. One, dump her ass. Go find. It's better to be single. Why would you? You're gonna be carrying this woman financially for the rest of your life because she obviously doesn't want to work. Right.
Yep.
And then her thinking like, oh, I'm going to live off the government, right? Grant money to get more. She's a panhandler. She is a white collar panhandler. She is a parasite. So this also makes me question what her moral quality is. It's probably very low. And she looks at you as a moneymaker or like you're a thing, you're an object. Because I guess she doesn't have respect for the taxpayer. I doubt she has any kind of respect for you. So her money and her career is going to come way before you. It already has. Because this is a very immoral person. And then giving her worthless, she's not going to listen to that.
No.
Worthless is saying, hey, to make money, you have to work hard. It is painfully obvious she's going to, in her mind, go the easy path where I just go and be a creative writing major. Get my not realizing she's going to waste even more time. It's going to be twice as hard because lazy people work twice as hard. That's a quote from Atham, by the way. She's not going to listen to you.
Yeah.
You know what? Why did I get so much flack for saying the 25-year-old modestly dressed Amish gal was the hottest woman in the airport? Why did I catch so much flack?
Because it was true.
And what was I also implying to the rest of the women?
That they're ugly.
And if they wanted to not be ugly anymore, what would they have to do?
Take care of themselves. Be a little bit more traditional.
They would have to work.
Right. Yep.
And what was the reaction? That was ultimately what I was telling women to hit the gym. Now, what was the reaction?
You're a horrible person.
So when you say, when you give her worthless, you're going to be saying you have to work. She's going to do what?
She's going to dump you.
She's going to say, you're a horrible. Oh, no, she needs him. She needs. Okay. I don't think she'll dump him. She'll just say, how dare you? You don't know where my dreams. Right. Teachers.
She worked in the Peace Corps. I mean,
my God,
she cares about foreign countries more than her own.
she went on a safari of dick. Okay, she got a buffet of dick, international dick, and you're like, I mean, Peace Corps equals work avoidance. What the fuck? So I don't know if he was trolling or not. I forgot that whole Peace Corps thing.
Well, that's a good answer. Whether he was trolling or not, it was a good answer.
But see,
next one.
All right, next.
Christopher Morales.
Oh, good old Chris.
$4.99.
All right.
Hey, Aaron, throwing you a few shekels. By the way, I answered your email on the older brother email. Thanks for following up. Have a good day.
Yeah, I got he's the one that I think we had like the second episode of Older Brother, and he was the one that got divorced that day. So I did catch his emails. So I sent him like, hey, how you doing with the divorce? And he's saying, yeah, things are going well, it's slow. I mean, he's still going through the process of divorce. I mean, that was almost 7-8 months ago.
Yep.
Could you imagine me with my patience of going through a divorce?
Oh yeah, it wouldn't.
No.
Yeah, there would. It would not be good.
I'd cash in all my assets into cash. I'd burn it, and I'd commit suicide rather than wait a year and a half for some fucking thing to go through.
No, cash it all into gold and silver and bury it somewhere.
I might,
and have people have to go find it.
Yeah, and then I you know what I would probably do? I say, for the sake of saving the court time, resources, and the taxpayer, I've done this. You'll never find it. What's the jail time? I plead guilty to that. Send me to jail. And then because after 3 years in jail, that's still shorter time than I guess a lot of divorces take. And so I'd just be like, yeah, okay, see you guys, bye. Like, nope, no money for you. No money for you.
He's got another super chat here, Christopher. $4.99 again. As a teacher working on curriculum design over summer, quote, break, teaching anatomy physiology next year, exclamation point. The worst part is the PDs they forced me to do. Professional development, maybe?
Oh, like CPE. Oh, yeah. That's got to suck.
That is the worst. That's just that right there is make work. That's supporting people who Hey, you're a teacher and you're having to support people who teach the teachers.
Right. Oh, that's a huge industry, CPE. You could even consider that a welfare jobs program.
It is.
Because
Absolutely.
the number of women, and it's only women, I haven't seen men do it, but the number of women, you can major in diversity and inclusion now, and now they go in and they consult because
Yep.
it's the hot topic. It's like, get the
Yep,
fuck
they do.
out. But which is again why I'll talk about it later here if you got the time. Why you should not even be bothering going and working in the corporate world. You should just be a consultant. So, all right, continue.
Hans Lag
Hans.
$2. Plan is to get out of debt before moving. G/B question mark. I don't know what that means. Good, bad. Good, bad.
Oh, God, look at how, guys, if you know why it's $2
getting
and
out
we
of
get
debt.
shitty. Well,
Getting out of debt
hang on. Guys, drop the extra bucks so you have a couple more characters to use so we're not trying to figure out what the fuck your question. You know how super chats work, DT?
Yeah, I suppose you get a certain number of characters.
Yeah, the more you pay,
cent.
and $2 is the minimum. I don't know. They give you 20 characters. So I get X2, 3, 4, 5. Good, bad, question mark. Like, what the fuck? Guys, spend the extra buck.
What would be a funny way of what should we, instead of saying good, bad, what would be a funny way of having the GB? So we just misinterpret it wrong.
Pay off your debts. Yeah. I don't know if before you move, I don't know, your debts are going to go with you. If you find a better, cheaper place to rent, I suppose.
So I think GB stands for
good or bad.
No, it stands for G-spot or butt sex. I think is what it stands for.
Butt sex, definitely.
Yeah,
the butt sex. Yeah, that's more diverse. G-sex is so overrated. That's so normie. You want to do the butt sex? I should do that next time we get these. We had some dope asking us like a bunch of questions, like deep economic, financial investment questions, like with 20 characters. Like, what the fuck? You know, small cap, good, bad, worth PE. What?
That's what I mean. Is you intentionally interpret them wrong.
Yeah, I will. I think I'm going to do that now.
G-spot or butt sex.
Yeah. G-spot or butt sex. All right, continue.
Charles Mack.
Good old Charlie.
$5. DT/Cappy. Switching windows using Alt plus Tab still works, but if you hold down Alt while hitting Tab, you get the Windows menu. Alt plus Tab once and quick. Okay.
That's how I do it. Yep, right. Works over here.
Still works. All right, so that was operator error. Imagine that from DT.
Mm-hmm.
Rob Fagulski, $10.99.
Whoa.
10.99er here.
We're going to pay attention to Rob's question.
What percentage of public sector employee vote left? Seems like a big scam over the last 100 years to guarantee Democrat votes. Well done, lefties. I would agree.
85%, I'd imagine. Government workers,
that's probably
easy.
It's at least 2/3.
Yeah.
There might be some people that switch around.
Teachers, I know, university professors are damn well near 98%, similar to the black vote. And I know public school teachers, K through 12, they're around 95%.
Yeah. So it's probably, I'm in the engineering field, engineering business. People, to be an engineer, you have factors of safety and you have all these things. And so there's automatically kind of a conservative aspect of engineering. You want to, there's benefit cost ratios and cost effectiveness and all those things that we learn. And so you automatically kind of want to do the best with the public dollar. And that butts up right against what the left is trying to do. And so in engineering, there's probably more people on the right that are just kind of shutting up and staying quiet within government. But government as a whole, maybe you are at 90%.
Well, yeah, it depends on your department. If you're in the Department of Diversity and Inclusion, you're 100% Marxist. Yeah, 100% dipshit parasite. But yeah, Department of Transportation is probably going to have some, a third at least, I'd imagine, of saner people who've actually visited the real world and crunch real numbers.
Or
teachers.
Water treatment plant people or whatever. Yeah, if it's an engineering aspect of government, it's going to be higher. So. All right, so that was thank you for the 10.99 there.
10.99ers, the superior race.
Yes. Atham's back. Still have a What Would Snake Plissken Do coffee mug DT. It's vintage now. Yeah.
It's like Roosh's Bang books. They're discontinued and they're going to be collector items.
Exactly. Yeah. Like I was talking about while you were pissing, I might enter the fray again. So once I get out to South
You've
Dakota.
been promising that.
I know,
Get
but
outta
now it's South Dakota, man. It's it's a constitutional carry state.
Yeah.
There's lots of people like us there.
Yep.
Just the chances of your life getting ruined for speaking the truth are a lot lower. So
You have to move and unpack. And then I guarantee you the size of that house compared to your little Quonset hut you got there with the hunker bunker, you're going to have to buy some other stuff. It's going to be at least, when are you moving?
Like you have a move June. Date I think it'll be late June. It's still, the logistics are still sorting themselves out.
Before I forget, this really doesn't have anything to do with the show. Do you need help moving? Because I have to make it out there to go talk to the builders and look at material. And we'll probably have finally been settled on that time. If I help you move and carry a bunch of crap into your house, can I crash into the spare bedroom or something?
Oh, so of course.
Because the hotel rates now, it's travel season, on average, $170 a night over in Rapid City. Yeah.
Right.
So
well, here's the deal, Cap. Here's the deal. I've thought about it. And the only content, what do you say?
Caveat, provision.
Yeah, the only caveat would be you can't complain about how much shit we're moving. That would be the only thing. I sit here and I pack and I'm like, man, if Aaron helps me move, he's going to be sitting there going, why are you keeping this? Why are you keeping this thing? Why am I bringing this out to the truck? So we get.
I will give you.
We will accept that as a truth. We'll say, yep, you're right. We just don't want to hear it.
I'm not okay. You only get 1 day of labor out of me. Like I caravan out there with you guys.
Yep.
All right. And then we're unloading a truck.
Yep.
Or 6, it seems. And you get 1 day of labor. That's it out of me. I'll help you unload stuff.
Okay.
All right. Very good.
Yeah, I'll keep you on the loop. I'll let you know.
All right, thank you. Yeah, because it may be time, like if you move in, that's about the time they're going to call me and say, hey, we got to finalize materials and things like that. And then
because even when I moved into this place a long time ago, a good friend of mine is unloading the truck and he's like, what is up with all these boxes of comic books, DT? What the heck? Just like bitching and moaning about my comic books the whole time.
I was packed and ready to go in an hour and a half. The GF had like other issues, right? Like, and it was kind of funny. She's like packing all this stuff and going through it all, and she's like, "There's just not enough time." I'm like, "I gave us 2 months to get ready," and I'm just sitting there because what was great is I can't help her pack her stuff because she has to make a decision on each and every item. So I was just like playing video games and getting work done. I'm like, no, I'm done. I got my shit ready to go.
Yeah, most of my shit's done. I'm working on other things now. So, but all right. That was the vintage DT mug. Christopher again. Oh, you must have been responding to us. Divorce finalized in December. $15,000 total cost.
Oh, that's nothing.
Yep.
That is cheap. He got off scot-free on that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's not even a car now, right?
No, not a new one. Nope. They
well, even used ones I think are going for 20.
I always thought I wanted like a Jeep, so I looked at the used Jeep. Used Jeeps, 25 grand. I'm like, go fuck yourself. Nope. Kia Rios for me, baby. There we go. There's a $4,000 piece of shit. All right.
All right. Now, so I know Robert Mueller's retired now, but there's still plenty of other Democrats that are obsessed with Russia. It looks like we got one from Russia.
We got one. What? We got a listener from Russia.
We got a super chat from Russia.
Oh, okay, good. Is this
RUB?
Vladimir?
Is that rubles? RUB?
I think it
Russian
is.
something.
What's the number?
It's 100. So,
yeah, I think it
green.
Is rubles. You divide it by 14.
It's green must mean it's like around $5 or something.
Well, let's take a look.
But it's the name is Hobayan Akayat 2019.
Jesus Christ, the ruble's way down. It's worth a cent.
A cent.
So divide by 100 and we got what?
You got
$2?
a buck? You got
we got a buck. Yeah.
But he got more characters, so it must be more than $1. Anyway, hello. Should I buy small studio 215 square foot or buy 355 square foot apartment outside Moscow? Thanks.
I don't know.
It's very small. Holy shit.
I don't know. I don't know the Moscow real estate market.
No.
Why does everybody think like complex? I mean, economics, the financial markets are more complex than your entire body. And unless you know that specific market, what, should I eat broccoli or spinach? I don't know. At this moment, I don't know. I have no idea, dude. I have no idea.
It sounds like he's.
Thanks for the buck, by the way.
Yeah, it sounds like, do I get an apartment in Moscow or a double-sized apartment outside Moscow?
I don't know.
Don't know. Yeah.
I don't know.
Niet. Right?
Anything else?
One more. Hans Laggy again, or Lag.
Right, Hans.
$3 for good or bad.
It's good when they make a joke. Here's your $3, good or bad.
No, he's the guy that had
good or bad. What was the original question?
the original question was what was it? It was plan to get out of debt before moving. Good or bad?
I say it's irrelevant. It's a good plan to get out of debt no matter what. But
yep.
if you can move to a cheaper place, that will help you get out of debt. And you're going to move anyway. Moving should not be determined whether you have debt or not. Moving should be determined by like, okay, can I save more money? Do I save more time? I think even in moving here to the new Northern Command, even though I'm renting, I'm actually saving money because lack of repairs, lower commute costs, all this other stuff. Plus, I'm not going out as much anymore. I just like being here. I don't like care to go to the city or hang out or do anything.
I will say, as a family moving, it's a lot easier if you don't have any debt.
How's that? I mean, your debt is the same, isn't it?
Well, I mean, you make more money in Minnesota, right?
Okay.
And so if you're moving to an area that maybe you're not going to make as much money, then not having debt, and it just makes that whole process easier.
True. Contingent on job opportunities out there. Yeah. I mean, if you had a mortgage in San Francisco and you want to move to North Dakota and you're going to make money working in Bismarck, I'm sure you're never paying off that San Franciscan debt.
Right.
But assuming cost of living adjustment is the same, it's a moot point.
Right. Yeah, you're right. There's more of an equation than just that. And then another one came in. Young Sykes again for $5. Hey Aaron, I wasn't trolling you by the way, but damn it, man, I needed that laugh. Since it is too late for her, I'll buy my niece Worthless and thanks.
There you go. Well, dump her ass. God almighty. Look, you guys don't have to play affirmative. Look, government's going to play affirmative action with women. They're going to give them all the advantages in the world. Corporate America is going to give them advantages in the world. You guys don't have to play affirmative action and date completely worthless, I don't want to say parasites because it indicates some kind of malice, but financial liabilities. What? Yeah. Why? How basic bitch, not to call her a bitch, but to use the phrase basic bitch. So like I'm going into the Peace Corps, and then like I'm gonna go major in creative writing, and then I'm gonna write to help out the children, writing for government grant. Oh my God, put a fucking bullet in my head now.
Yeah.
Have some self-respect. I mean, again, it's better you're just single. It is. Right. It is. Don't tell me she's some hot chick that shaves down there and paints a little landing strip. She works at the Peace Corps. I'm seeing hairy vag and hairy armpits. I'm seeing no makeup. I'm seeing absolutely no femininity whatsoever. And I'm seeing like someone who loves her politics more than you.
Probably. That's probably right.
Yeah. I know he didn't ask for that, but.
No, but I mean, you gave your honest opinion based on those three kind of red flags. So you got to start these things out on the right foot, or you just get in deeper and deeper and deeper. And then, before you know it, you're not able to move because of X, Y, and Z reasons. Yeah.
I have to get my doctorate. You're not supporting me. That's
mean,
my impersonation of a feminist liberal. Yang, 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 yang.
everything's got inertia, and the longer I mean, that's why people stick in toxic relationships, is because it's hard to leave. It's hard to change. It just relates to everything. So
And
if you're not starting off on the right foot, there's no reason to start.
And I'm not joking. It's not like there's better opportunities. I'm just saying it's better to be single.
Right.
I mean, that's how bad that is.
I've tried to figure out how I lucked out, especially after listening to you talk to who was it, Terrence Popp and Rich Cooper.
yeah.
And just the kind of the horror stories that they've had to deal with. And it's just like, how did I luck out? How did I, I mean, nothing's easy, right? I mean, women are women and nothing's easy, but compared to these other guys, it's like shit. I'm glad I found the red pill in time.
Do you think any of it had to do with both of you being religious back in the day when that maybe meant something?
I think that was a huge part. We actually, when we went through our premarital counseling with the person that was going to marry us, they've got, the religions have all these tests. They've got tests too. They've got things. Oh, how compatible are you? And we can talk through things to, try to make sure that people know what they're getting into, right? Before the pastor goes. It's like due diligence for a pastor.
Right.
If they're going to marry somebody.
So, yeah.
And our pastor said, I've never seen a couple that's more well-matched, that you guys have talked about all this stuff. You're on the same page about the big things in life. And there shouldn't be any surprises. You guys are the most well-matched, according to this test, the most well-matched result I've ever seen. So I think it did have something to do with religion. I think it did have something to do with, we both were concerned with bigger things than just ourselves, right? We're concerned with, well, what do we want out of life, and what is the right thing, and what's the truth, and all those kinds of things. But starting off on the right foot thing, I mean, that's after cultivating a relationship after a long period of time. This whole idea of starting off on the right foot, there was very early, and when I was first starting to pursue her in our relationship, and we were friends for a long time, but first we were friends, I invited her over to my place, because that's what guys do, right?
All right.
And she never showed, and she didn't call. She flaked, right?
Really?
She flaked. And I told her on the phone, you never do that again. I do not tolerate that. That's wrong.
Was that a first date?
Yeah, basically sort of like a first date. Yep.
Never do that again. It's like, there's not going to be a second time.
Right. But I mean, I made, even in my beta way, because I wasn't red pill back then, I was a geek. I was an idiot, right? I still knew that was wrong. I still knew that was a red flag, and that I wasn't going to put up with that kind of shit. And so I just said, that's not going to happen again. That you don't do that to me. If we're going to be friends, we're going to be friends. You at least call and say, hey, I can't make it, or whatever, but it's not going to happen again.
Wow.
And I think that started it off. Maybe that started it off on the right foot. I don't know. I mean, I try to figure out, how did I luck out? Was it luck? Was it just starting out on the right foot? Was it work? Was it what?
No, sometimes.
What the hell was it? But
sometimes blind squirrels and acorns, man. It's got to happen. Sometimes people win the lottery. Why can't it be you every once in a while? Someone's gotta. No, I'm being deadly serious. Like, it's the same thing. Like, well, shit, how did asshole consulting come about? Well, it wasn't like I sat there and did some market analysis studies. I'm like, I got this idea because I was bored driving through Kansas one night, wrote it down, and was bored again as working as a security guard. And then it worked. It's never discount luck.
But nothing ever just works out. It's always work. There might be some luck involved, but you got to make your own luck too. You got to do enough work such that when luck hits you, it works out. And so that's the best I can come up with how I did get lucky. It has been a lot of work, but starting out on that right foot and not tolerating bad behavior. You talk about it too, where you gotta have to make the expectation that you value yourself and you value your own time. And if the other person doesn't, bye. Goodbye.
Yeah.
And I think women inherently respect men who respect themselves, that I'm sure she was like, whoa, huh. I've never really talked to her about it.
It definitely made you different. It definitely made you different. I mean, I remember it wasn't like that, but I had a date with one gal and I got called to work. And so I called her. I said, hey, I have to cancel. I got called into work. And then that was an easy lay. because I kicked her down the road a lot. I wasn't disrespectful, but I canceled and I had to reschedule. And then I've noticed that it's tiring. I mean, this is why I could see guys just like don't want to get married, or they do go MGTOW, or like they've been divorced. I mean, I bet you Chris Morales, I mean, he's been expended. I can see where he's not going to want to maybe ever get married again. But you have to, no matter how good the woman, you have to. There's times where you got to babysit. Like, no, we're not doing that. And not only we're not doing that, you're not going to give me lip, and you're going to like this decision. And if you don't like it, there's the door. And, you know, even though the GF and I have been together for 13 years, I've mentioned the door several times. Like, this is not this. It's not. It's like, no, we did not decide this beforehand, and this is what we're doing. And if you don't like it, there's the door. And that gets so fucking tiring babysitting that if you ever get out of the relationship, like, I'm not doing that ever again. And you know what? That comes with every woman. At least once, guys, at least once, you're going to have to put your foot down and say, no, that's not going to happen. And
well, if it's going to work out, you have to do that.
You have to.
That's kind of my point. That's kind of my point. Starting off on the right foot, you have to, you know, like yourself enough to not put up with bullshit.
Yeah. You know? And so and the client there, he's like, right off the bat, I'd be, no, you're not going to the fuck around in Africa gang. What the hell is that called? The Peace Corps.
Peace Corps.
You're not going to the Peace Corps. No, you're not majoring in that stupid shit. No, you're not going to be a grant writer. Of course, I would have never gotten to that stage. You're like, what? You're in the Peace Corps? I'm like, oh, yeah, let's just be friends.
Hey, he's followed up. I don't know if this happened in the span of the podcast, but he says for $2, she's already been dumped, by the way.
Oh, good. Okay, good man. You can see for what his total donations was, what, $8?
I think it was 12.
Okay, $12. Think about that. For $12, we just saved him a life of pain and agony. Everybody in the super chat, or not the super chat, everybody in the chat room, estimate the return on investment. I just saved that. Calculate the return. For $12, I probably saved them $40,000 in divorce costs, alimony, bailing on out for student. Everybody just estimate what kind of return on investment and see if that beats the S&P 500 index. Let's see if we're just beating that.
Right. I wonder if the original question, though, if he says she's already been dumped, maybe he was going to send the book to her as kind of like a troll.
Oh, kind of like a fuck you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nah.
You don't want the money?
No, why do you never do an exit interview with an employer you hate?
Oh, because you burn bridges.
No, you could be perfect. Why do you never do an exit interview with an employer you hate?
Because they don't listen anyway.
You're close. What if they did listen?
They would hire you back.
They turn it around and be successful.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
When you have an exit interview, you got to view it as this. They're trying to hire someone with the skill and insight of a Bain or McKinsey or what's the other? Booz Alexander Hamilton. Is that the other one?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Bain
is Batman's nemesis.
No. There's these high-end consultancies where you're billing out at $2,000 an hour. Yep. If they ask you for an exit interview, that means they know that you know something and it's probably critical. And they usually will pay a McKinsey consultant $2,000 an hour to get that. So my policy with exit interviews is, well, you're going to pay me $2,000 an hour with a $2,000 minimum. Or if I hated them in particular, I say, no, I won't be giving you an exit interview.
Oh, that's good advice. Yeah.
Because there's an outside chance they might actually listen to you and then be successful.
Right.
With this gal, like employers that are incompetent, she's not going to listen to you because ego is going to get in the way of reality. But on the outside chance she might, do you want her to turn her life around and all of a sudden become an asthma babe with nice cleavage and make $600,000 a year? Yes. Or do you want her to live the path of just misery, being a professional white collar panhandler?
You know, you actually could, filling out forms and having that scratching of the pencil, you probably could apply for grants and be an asthma chick at the same time.
Not her. I'm picturing lots of
Okay.
hair.
Okay.
I'm picturing her not being an attractive woman.
So she'd
at
have to
all.
get to the gym, clean up a little bit, then asthma grant writing.
And already we told her that that would require work, and she'll be
Yes.
very angry that you don't recognize that beauty is on the inside, and beauty has no number, DT.
Hey, I didn't have an exit interview with government.
What do you think? Okay, government, like they're going to change? Like,
But it's like, man, I mean, you would think they would want to know.
they don't do it. I think
Yeah.
at a certain level, they all know it's bullshit. It's just a money
Right.
make. Like when I worked at this school, this fly-by-night college, like I was an idiot. I thought we were here to educate the kids, blah, blah, blah. And then I realized that everyone in management and up knew it was just to rape these kids out of their money. That's all it was. And had I known that, then I would have played ball and I would have made more money. But I back when Cappy had morals,
Right.
you
actually wanted to make a difference and do the right thing.
It wasn't make a difference. It was like, be moral, like, yeah, I'm going to teach you economics. I'm not going to. And then the second place I taught, fuck it. Hey, B+ isn't up for everybody. And I'm the fun guy. You're going to create your own tests and you don't have to study. And then everybody loved me. It was great. I was asked back to teach. It was wonderful. And now I know what it's like being a Democrat or Oprah. You just tell people,
Yeah,
what
exactly.
They want to hear. Yeah, hey, and then you're popular and people throw money at you.
Right.
Meanwhile, their lives are ruined. They're just fucking ruined.
No more super chats. So let's go to your article. Huh?
Let's go to the article. I wanted to talk about this in the Older Brother podcast, but we didn't get to it. DT, let's just read through this a little bit, and then I'm going to ask you some questions.
Okay, I'll take notes.
This is from Fortune. Inside Google's Civil War. It started in Tokyo on November 1st, 2018, when 100 employees walked out of Google's office at 11:10 a.m. local time. 13 hours later, the elevators at the company's New York City headquarters were so packed that workers took the stairs down to the street to protest. Google employees in Austin observed 2 minutes of silence for victims of sexual assault as part of their demonstration. In San Francisco, hundreds of employees gathered across from the historic Ferry Building, chanted "Time's up" at Google, and held signs like slogans like "Workers' rights or women's rights" and "Free food does not equal a safe space." After Googlers at Sydney walked out 25 hours after Asia kicked things off, 20,000 Google employees in 50 cities around the world had joined their colleagues to protest the company's handling of sexual harassment. The spark that ignited the walkout was a New York Times article that had appeared a week earlier reporting that Google paid former executive Andy Rubin a $90 million exit package despite facing a sexual misconduct accusation. Not proof, it was an accusation Google deemed credible. In the statement of the Times, there's numerous inaccuracies about my employment.
Was it assault or harassment?
It doesn't matter. Do they even delineate?
But what did it say? Sexual
misconduct.
Something? Okay. All right.
So it wasn't criminal, but it was obviously unacceptable conduct for a workplace.
It could be a bad joke. I mean, that's pretty. Okay.
It could be. It could also be he patted her on the ass. It could be something legitimate. Right. Yep. I got a larger point here.
Okay.
It was the first time the world had seen such a massive worker protest erupt out of one of the giants of technology industry, and certainly the first time outsiders got a glimpse at the depth of anger and frustration felt by some Google employees. But inside the Googleplex, the fuel that fed the walkout had been collecting for months. Tensions had been on the rise as employees clashed with management over allegations of controversial business decisions made in secret, treatment of marginalized groups of employees, and harassment and trolling of workers on the company's internal platforms. It's the U.S. culture war playing out on a micro scale, says Colin McGillen, an engineer who left the company in February. To many observers, the tech workforce, notoriously well-paid and pampered with perks, hardly seems the place to complain. It's a surprising tune to hear from employees of one of the titans of Silicon Valley, a place that has long worshipped at the altar of meritocracy and utopian techno-futurism. But in the past few years, the industry's de facto mission statement, change the world and make money doing it, has been called into question as examples of tech's destructive power multiply, from election interference to toxicity on social media platforms to privacy breaches to tech. Man, this guy, I thought I was a bad writer.
You were a bad writer.
I'm trying to get to the thing. So-called tech backlash has cast a pale over the entire sector. Organized employee pushback is slowly becoming part of the landscape. Amazon workers are demanding more action from the company on battling climate change. At Microsoft, employees say they don't want to build technology for warfare. At Salesforce, the group has lobbied management to end its work with the U.S. Customs and Border Patrol Agency. Meanwhile, there's not a company in the sector that isn't grappling with some level of ways brogramming culture. I get it. Brogramming?
Oh, God.
Culture has made tech a toxic space for women and people of color.
How much longer is this? I'm about to explode.
Okay. So now you got the tone of that article. I'm not going to read the remaining 2/3 of the article.
2/3?
2/3.
Oh my God.
Well, see, the writers, they have to have 4 pages of flowery introduction. And then at the final end of the paragraph, but here's the spin. It's like, God, just tell me what fucking happened. This is from RT.com, which is Russian owned, typically fake news. But then I followed the link, and this is mostly, if not 100% true. 3 white women sue totalitarian diversity-obsessed New York school for system for discrimination. 3 white New York City school administrators are suing the Department of Education, claiming they were demoted and replaced with less qualified but racially diverse colleagues, a part of the crusade against toxic whiteness. Subjected to a diversity-focused witch hunt featuring persistent race-based shaming and verbal abuse, as well as groundless demotions and professional harassment despite decades of excellent work, Lois Herrera, J. Murray, and Laura Fahu are seeking a total of $90 million from schools Chancellor Richard Carranza and the city for compensatory damages, loss of earning capacity, and emotional pain and suffering. Cameron Ranzo wasted no time launching his reign of terror after he was hired in April of 2018, according to the suit. If you draw a paycheck from the Department of Education, get on board with my equity platform or leave, he reportedly told his employers. Wow. Told to take a step back and yield to colleagues of color and recognize that values of white culture are supremacist. Herrera, a 33-year veteran of city schools, claimed she was stripped of her title and demoted despite being publicly praised for her performance the previous year, after she was held responsible for the racial inequities in the school system. Humiliated by her unqualified replacement, a black man promoted over her without so much as an interview. Herrera was subjected to a string of racist indignities and included a professional workshop where a black presenter decried the white middle class that were plaguing society, framing the struggle as an us versus them, with Herrera, the unfortunate them, in the equation. 13 years, blah, 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 blah. Let me ask you this, DT.
Yes, please ask me.
Would you ever want to go work for any of these organizations?
No.
Let's say they paid you $100,000. Would it be worth it?
Well, it depends on if they actually win that lawsuit and get $90 million.
No. Because then the problems will all go away after that lawsuit, right?
Right.
What if I paid you $100,000 to go work for one of these places?
Ooh.
And all the CPE and then the drama. You got to record every conversation.
100,000 though.
You're totally missing this. You're totally missing the point on this. Should any self-respecting individual go work for environments like this?
No, I mean, unless it's just to basically take their money.
I'm not talking.
No reason.
Should anyone listening here, any smart person, male, female, black, white, doesn't matter. Should any of you that actually have genuine hustle and demand meritocracy and demand that you are compensated based on your performance, should any of you go work in these fucking insane asylums?
No, absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Because the mental headache, one, you're not even sure you're going to, it's not a meritocracy. And if you think, well, I have vagina or I have this color skin, I just showed you that the women are turning on each other. It's a backstabbing catfest over at the New York City. The insane people over in Silicon Valley, predominantly millennials now, what, you think the gays aren't going to attack you just because you got a certain color skin or you have a vagina? They'll probably attack you because you're not gay, or they'll claim it. It is a
They're never happy.
Shit show. They're never happy. Right. And since we've made politics and identity politics more important than working a fucking job and making fucking money and going home and living your life, I've predicted before, this is only more proof that I'm 100% right. The future is not traditional institutional employment. It's not corporate America. It's not the school systems. It's not government jobs. It is independent contracting. It is entrepreneur. DT, when you were a consultant, did you actually have to deal with any? I know you had to deal with some of the bullshit, but versus being an employee versus being a contractor, what was more sane?
Well, here's the thing. When you're in the private sector and your only client is government, you're not in the private sector.
Okay. All
So
right.
there was just as much that it was worse in the private sector because you could be fired, because you actually had to work hard, and all those kinds of things.
Right.
Where if you were on the client side, it's easy. So
Okay, but
it's not if you were in like actual private sector where you've got multiple clients, you can kind of choose who you want to work for.
right.
Then that would be so much better because you'd have kind of your destiny's almost in your hands. You can make a difference. There is some meritocracy. But yeah, it's fast fading everywhere apparently. So
It's like a middle school girl cat off. That's what corporate America is like. That's what government, any major employer, you're going to be as introduced. The vehicle by which they introduced this was diversity, inclusion, and leftist politics and CSR, where now your politics matter more than your performance. And that has created an insane asylum that is filled with, including men, nothing but a bunch of catty fucking 7th grade bitches.
it's on.
Fuck this bullshit. Have self-respect and never go into these fields.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought you were going to go a different direction in that. That's why I said they're never happy. I mean, this is Google. This is the heart of leftism, right?
Mm-hmm.
There can't be any more leftist company than Google or Facebook. I mean, they're banning conservative voices. I mean, all the things that they're doing. And the article is about Me Too and is about diversity and it's about all these things. They're never happy. They're never satisfied. Even in these companies that are basically the shrine, the gold standard to all the things that the left wants, they're protesting.
Right.
And also that article was in Forbes, right? Where
Forbes.
do you get the fucking article that's actual discrimination, actual wrongdoing? I mean, that should be nationwide news. Is the other example where the white people were completely discriminated against by the school system, and what it takes fucking Russian Today to report on that. So it's insanity, and they're never happy. They'll never be satisfied. They ignore. I mean, that article should have been about how Google is influencing the election by suppressing right voices, but instead they go, well, the Russians spent $100,000 on ads, and that's evidence of election tampering. It's just so out of whack. It's just completely insane, and that's why I'm moving to South Dakota.
Right, and I'm trying to help out my listening audience because the left, even the right, because the right always plays into the frame of the left because they're cucks. The left tries to present this frame of race and gender, even gender identity, and I would say other isms and is. I think certainly they're going down the road of mental illness, faked or not. They're going down. Oh yeah, I'm a quad equestrian sexual, whatever the fuck it is this week. What if you want to enjoy life, you want to enjoy your future, don't play into the left's frame of an us versus them based on traits you were born with or things you made up or believe you have. You really want to look at it as in terms of sane people or insane people. Mm-hmm. And your life is, I think, going to be certainly happier and more enjoyable. Maybe not richer. I'm sure Sheryl Sandberg's going to make more money than all of us, but I don't even want to think about how corrupt and dark that mind has become and how, I mean, I would not want her. You couldn't pay me enough to be that woman. There's no way. No way. But for those of you going forward, you may not make that much money, but by God, the sanity is worth it. Mm-hmm. And I also am going to make the prediction that, and I made it a couple podcasts ago, that these entities, these institutions, okay, fine, they're on the high flyer now, they're on the cutting edge of technology, they're in a growth industry. Because of the inept people, because they're all dicking around having petty catfights within one another and they're acting like 7th grade popular girls, these companies are going to become corrupt to the point they're no longer profitable or efficient and are going to have the fate of the Japanese Keiretsus and the Korean Chaebols. These large dinosaur entities that are no longer efficient or profitable and need a government bailout or some kind of infusion of cash from the government. And then you're just working at a true charity job, at a true insane asylum. Because why? Because it's Google, because it's Facebook. Your life is too short to be a teacher. Your life is too short to be, God, could you imagine what it's like to be a censor at Google? You got to go through pedophilia crap, Nazi shit. I mean, true hate, nothing good, nothing happy.
Right.
And then you got to also have to have like, well, this person told people that a woman who is Amish was hotter than they are. Oh, do we delete that? I mean, imagine what that does to your brain and your mental health over the long haul.
Right.
Or do you want to be the fly-by-night hired gun? Yeah, I'll fix your computers for you. Send it to Bob's Computer LLC at $150 an hour. And no, I'm not going to sit on your fucking diversity meeting.
Right. I mean, it's the same thing that we talked about with dealing with women. I mean, you have to have self-respect, and you shouldn't put up with BS. And most of this economy right now is BS, and so you got to find those areas or find those industries that aren't, and try to do that instead. And like you said, you're probably not going to make as much money, but who the fuck cares? I mean, we're all rich now. I mean, it doesn't take much to buy a nice bottle of scotch. It doesn't take much.
Yep. Or a piece of shit car that will do everything. That will do everything a Ferrari will do, except break down a lot.
Right. I mean, those two stories were maddening, and it just proves it's never going to end. They're never going to be satisfied. They're never going to stop. And so you got to kind of just, okay, hands off.
Yep.
That train wreck that's going to happen is going to happen. There's not a fucking thing that I can do about it. I'm not going to endanger myself by trying to stop it. I'm going to sit back here in the distance where when the tanks explode, I won't be hurt, and I'm just going to enjoy the fucking show.
Right. And I can't imagine what it's like having to commute in Silicon Valley, pay $3,000 a month rent for a hovel. And then half your time is spent dicking around with some fucking touchy feel-good leftist initiative about recycling or diversity. And when all you want to do was fucking program, I mean, fuck that bullshit. Fuck it, guys. You're all too damn valuable. You're all too damn smart. Don't waste your life in this shit. I mean, I don't want, DT, do you want to go back to the 7th grade and hang out with the popular girls?
No. No, I don't.
Fuck.
It's interesting. I had one kind of honest conversation with my boss's boss before I left. And I was dropping off basically engineering drawings to be signed. And she was like, "Oh, I used to do this," and she sounded happy. And I was like, "Do you miss it?" And I bet she did.
I bet you she does.
She's in the upper management now or whatever, has to deal with all the political bullshit, all that kind of stuff. And those people that are way up on top, do they miss the most? They miss actually doing the real work that they were trained to do.
Yeah. I can only imagine, Sheryl Sandberg, she goes in, she works 12 hours. At night, she gets some fancy high-end dinner, with the big corporate monkey. All they talk about is work. Then she goes home, and what does she do?
I don't know.
Nothing. She goes to sleep. Maybe
exactly. I don't know. What do you want to do? I don't know. What do
she doesn't talk to her husband. He's dead, unfortunately.
Right.
Yeah, but there's, she doesn't see her kid or kids. I don't even know if she's got kids or not. And then she wakes up and does it again.
Does the whole thing again.
And then what does she talk about?
About how empowered and great and
work.
Awesome it is. Yeah.
Talks about work.
Yeah.
It's save it, guys. Just enjoy the decline instead. What's the super chats look like? We got any left?
We don't have any more, so we can be done.
Let's wrap this up. Praxi. If you want to get your super chats in, do it now because we're gonna close out. Praxi. I'm on the Praxi app. Download the Praxi app. You can contact me directly if you need. We had this before, but basically you use your smartphone and you could contact me over the phone. Make sure you have good internet connection. That way you don't get dropped. It is expensive. It's $25 minimum charge, and then it's $3 a minute. So get it. I charge 1-900 porn voice chick levels here. So have your question ready. And so a lot of people did use that in the past. I think you can go to the website, praxi.com, and then search for Aaron Clarey. We've been having some issues with Firefox not pulling up the site. So you can do that. I'm also on Telegram. Are you on Telegram?
This is all kinds of new shit. I didn't know that all this stuff was going on.
Well, everyone, you know, when the first adapters, I think Roosh, Forney, and some other people on Telegram, like, oh, I'll go take a look at Telegram. So I'm on Telegram. You know what it is?
It's written asthma.
No, it's written asthma. It's just texting.
Okay.
On your phone. I'm like, what? My phone already does this. What is the big fucking deal? So I think unless someone comes up with, oh yeah, it does this, that regular texting doesn't. Until someone points that out to me, I'm probably going to get rid of it. But I don't know. Hey, I'm on Telegram for the next week until I get rid of it. AssholeConsulting.com. Check that out if you have questions that are a little bit more involved than eep GB. And then we'll probably be able to answer your question a little more thoroughly. Check your spam folders if you have sent a request to Asshole Consulting. I respond to all emails, but sometimes it does end up in spam. Also, there's Masculine Geek on YouTube. They are trying to get 2,000 subscribers, because if you get 2,000 subscribers, guess what you can do, DT?
You can charge money. I don't know.
You can monetize your site. So if you would kindly subscribe to this channel, subscribe to the Older Brother channel, and then also subscribe to the Masculine Geek channel. I know it's going to take some time out of your day, but I'd appreciate it.
And subscribe to Don T. Tread on YouTube.
You don't even put up material.
I will be soon.
Okay. Would you like to make a bet?
No, I don't.
No. All right. Cafe Richese, spelled Cafe Rich ESSE. He's a new sponsor of the show. He has coffee. And he sent me 4 packages, and we tried the second type of coffee today, and it's better than the first package of coffee I tried. So I don't like free coffee. So if you want we all like coffee, but if you don't want to have a conversation about race, go to caferichese.com and get yourself some non-communist coffee.
Coffee is so racist. I mean, unless you just take it black, if you're pouring cream in it, you're pouring.
What are you saying?
You're trying to make the coffee more mulatto. You're trying to put that white cream in the black coffee.
Cultural appropriation is what you're trying to do. Yep. I do take my coffee black. Why would you put cream in it? What the hell?
I love cream. Yeah.
What?
I love cream.
That just takes away from the taste.
No.
It's like watering down wine or scotch.
No. It's great. Sorry, different strokes for different folks.
Or we just say DT's wrong and Aaron's right. But, whatever.
Imagine that. Aaron that bounces off of walls takes his coffee black.
Hey, you'd be proud of me. I'm calming down, man.
Okay, good. Yeah, I'm going to teach you how to chill out in South Dakota.
Dude, I gotta, because I've been going way too hard and way too fast.
Yeah, don't worry. Just you come to the school of DT.
Cool.
DTU.
rdklegal.com. Go visit rdklegal.com and visit Russell. If you're about to get divorced, thinking about getting divorced, want to get divorced, or when's the best time to contact a divorce lawyer, DT?
Oh, man. It's got to be right away, and even before right away. It should be like when you have any hint that it's coming at all.
Nope. Way before that.
When you get married, I don't know.
Before you propose, not before you get married. Before you propose, talk to Russell at RDK Legal. Because here's the thing, DT.
He'll set everything up for you. Yep.
Do you want to get a tetanus shot, or do you want to get tetanus and then be treated for tetanus?
I hear you. I got you.
All right. Yep. See what I'm saying? So you toss Russell a couple $100, a little conversation.
Yep.
All right. You don't want to toss Russell $25,000 for a long ass conversation with the ex. Right? See what I'm saying?
RDK Legal. Exactly what you're saying.
All right.
Yep.
For $12, we got that guy to dump his girlfriend, so now he doesn't deal with hairy vagina or armpit or, man, we're going to help out the minorities in the foreign countries, even though they're not minorities, they're in the majorities.
Help out all those African Americans in foreign countries.
Have white women ever successfully helped anybody in a foreign country?
Maybe get off.
Maybe get off. Yeah, that's about it. Maybe that's about it. I guess they kind of have in that regard. But have they ever like built a sewer system?
There's probably some that have done good stuff like that, but the majority, I imagine, not.
Financial Longevity, your guide to securing your family's financial future, written by Dantarius Owens. You can find that on Amazon.com. You know why you should buy this book if you're a millennial?
What was the book title again?
Financial Longevity, your guide to securing your family's financial future.
Okay. Why should a millennial buy that?
Yes.
Because they're way in debt and they're going to need a lot of help securing their financial future.
That's true. And they haven't yet had families. Although that's going tickety-tock, tickety-tock.
Yep.
I thought Gen X women were spinsters. I can't wait for millennial women to just trounce that.
They're waiting way too long. Yep.
No, they're freezing their eggs, DT. Hang on. I got to look this long. I got to look this up. I want to see how long do frozen eggs last. Because some gal was 23 on Twitter. She's like, I'm going to freeze my eggs, you know. And I think when people are like, dude, you're 23. They're going to expire. How long do frozen eggs last? Once frozen, embryos can remain viable for years, with cases of live birth resulting in long as 15 years after freezing.
Those are embryos, though. Those are
embryos. Eggs. How long could frozen? Oh, this is for eating. Never mind. Oh, 7 things before everything women know before. And it's from PBS, so you women will trust this. As in women age, the likelihood of chromosomal abnormality climbs with the risk of miscarriage. Egg freezing seems way to stop biological clock, so ignore nature. Many women childbearing years. Nature turned Apple announced they would cover up to $20,000 in the cost for the procedure. My fucking God.
$25,000.
$20,000.
Why is health costs so expensive? I mean, I just wait until I'm 45 to have a kid when I should be having them in my early 20s.
Don't let them listen. You're giving an exit interview, DT. There's a chance women might listen. Be quiet.
Okay.
Let them freeze their eggs at 47 and then wonder why they have a 3-armed, one-eyed creature coming out of their hoo-ha at the age of 58.
You're doing asthma. You're doing asthma right now.
Asthma. Indeed, among the first wave of egg freezers, those who froze their eggs from 2005 to 2011, more than 80% had no partner. No. Shifting, 36, 38. Retrieving AIDS, you got risk of infection.
So they're still not saying how long
they're still not no, they're not giving us the dope. I remember somebody said, like, some gal did an article, she froze 6 of her eggs and 4 didn't make it through the thawing process. I mean, this is not this is not like, hey, you get your shot and then, you know, you deposit your money, you withdraw it later from the bank. What are the chances of having the baby after I freeze my eggs? Chance single frozen will lead to live about 2 to 12. The chance that a single frozen egg will lead to a live birth is 2 to 12%.
Jeez, I mean,
so you got to have, let's just call it 7 on smack dab in the middle. 7, clear. Hang on, 100 divided by 7. How many eggs do you got to freeze? 15.
Yeah. It's
a couple dozen egg frozen to freeze with a 30-year-old with 2.
I mean, do the time value of money of freezing eggs for $20,000 or whatever and when you're young, and then using them whenever you want to use them. I mean, that's a lot of money.
Okay, and here the quality of your eggs depend too. A 30-year-old woman with 2 to 6 eggs thawed eggs had a 9 to 24% chance of one of those eggs processing to live birth.
It's just it's so crazy. I mean, they're working hard and being a career person so that they can spend money to freeze their eggs and then spend a bunch more money to fertilize them in the future when they are, quote, financially sound. That equation doesn't seem to work. It's like childcare and daycare. The equation does not work when you actually look at. Do some more ASMR.
Taxes, go into debt, get a master's degree in women's studies. Your career is the most important thing in life. Shh.
Are you getting me all tingly, Aaron?
Gross. Most centers of egg retrieval procedure cost 10 grand, and that doesn't include the drugs, which, okay, so 15 grand a shot each egg. God dang it, let's do some math. Now you're talking a mortgage.
Right.
15 grand. You got to receive two dozen to have a 100% shot, 360,000. And then there's the annual fees of storing between $5,000 to $1,000. And then the IV, then the process is 3 to 5 when they reinsert it into you.
Right. And then all of the, I mean, I'm sure it's higher medical costs went for having that kind of unnatural fertilization.
You know what's scary? Is this comes from PBS.
Right.
You know, this isn't Rush Limbaugh News or Clarey and the Dick Show. You know, this is your leftist, trustworthy NPR voice guy talking, right?
Yep. And it's so obvious that it's not something you want to do.
You know what I'm going to do, DT? I'm going to sit on my fucking patio in South Dakota. I'm going to smoke my fucking cigar. I'm going to watch the sunset. I'm going to rock in my rocking chair. And I'm going to laugh my fucking ass off when we got mutant babies being born. And then you know, in 2030, you know, when you and I are really old, the news articles are going to be about how kids missing 8 chromosomes are the greatest thing ever. And kids with one eye, the cyclopses, we're going to have cyclopses being born, and the cyclops Americans. Oh, they're just wonderful things. And even though they need to be hooked up at a machine that keeps them alive and a respirator for $100,000, there's cyclops rights. We need cyclops rights because these gals waited till 67 to take a dried up egg and shove it back into their hoo-ha.
Because you wanted your career.
And then it won't be bailing out the bankers or the student loans. It'll be bailing out the egg freezers who took on $800,000 in egg freezing debt because the banks and the government came up with a program, and then we're going to bail them out. It'll be a $1 trillion bailout of the egg freezer bailouts. And we need it. Otherwise, you're sexist.
Well, there's going to be those commercials on television or whatever exists at the time where they're like, did you have your eggs frozen? Did you have complications from that pregnancy? You might be entitled to legal compensation. So it'll destroy the industry.
All right. Anyway, DT, we'll let you go. Thanks for stopping on by. If people want to help out with the show, go to olderbrother.com, even though this is the Clarey podcast. Go to olderbrother.com/donate, where you can go ahead and donate money at PayPal, and you get jack shit for that. You can donate money at the Patreon, in which case you get access to the stuff behind the paywall, which is an article, the best article that you like, called Sanity is the Future of Wealth. There's also some pinups of the lovely Mary Jo, give you guys a little bit of eye candy there to make you go and fight more in the trenches. And then if you also wanted to, it doesn't cost you anything extra. You can go ahead and do your online shopping through my Amazon affiliate program. The link is there. Cost you nothing more. You just click on that link before you go to Amazon. That takes you to Amazon. It just tells Amazon you came from me. And everything you buy, get a 6 to 7% cut. You pay nothing extra. That's about it. I'd say refer your site to people there, DT, but there's no material up.
There's no new material at blackbrigade.org, but there's about 140 or 50 older podcasts, and got plenty of good stuff there. And yeah, we'll see how things go.
Wonderful. All right. Take us out appropriately there, DT.
Toodles.